on the wheel. Let's go.
Let's go.
Shit.
It was so close.
What, Dinner Table Detective?
Yep.
Yeah, Dinner Table Detective. It
So-
is 32. Yes, the Dinner Table Detective. 謎解きはディナーの後で。
All right, yeah, so the Dinner Table Detective, Studio Madhouse of all studio. I mean, they've done a
Yeah,
bunch of
okay.
stuff, a ridiculous amount of stuff. Director is Masahara Mitsuyuki, and they are known for Hajime no Ippo, which is a really great fighting
right.
boxing show. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it. But anyway, so he directed that. The writer is Higashikawa Tokiya, who I didn't notice anything of note from their stuff. But yeah, I guess let's get a description of that.
Set in Kunitachi City, Tokyo, Reiko Hosho, a rookie detective at the Kunitachi Police Department, is also the heiress of the globally renowned Hosho Group. She tackles challenging cases alongside Inspector Kazamatsuri, heir to the Kazamatsuri Motors family business, and Kageyama, her sharp-tongued butler and driver. With biting remarks like, "Are your eyes merely decorative, my lady?" Kageyama not only critiques Reiko's lack of deductive skills, but also brilliantly solves the mysteries at hand. A sharp-tongued butler meets classic detective fiction in this unique mystery series.
I also want to mention that Mamoru Miyano voices the rich detective guy.
Inspector
Very
Kazamatsuri.
obviously.
Very obviously.
This
yes.
show is actually stacked with seiyus.
Yes.
The main girl is Hanazawa Kana.
Yes.
And then the butler is Kajiyuki.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this show is stacked.
Yeah, so I mean, lots of people that are pretty well known here. Yeah, I guess as for the show, I don't know how we think about this one.
It was really
It was good.
fun.
Really?
I liked it, but I think it was a little bit mid. If I'm going to be completely honest,
The show is rough.
it was good, but it was. I think in the next couple episodes it'll probably find its footing. But the first episode
Maybe.
was kind of a little rough.
The initial part of the show, the sort of background to the people that we're getting to know and whatnot, I found that extremely interesting. Knowing the main character Reiko and her friends and their histories together and stuff like that. I thought it was going to be. I thought with the writing, at least in the beginning, there was a lot that was left out there to be okay, this is interesting intrigue, which I know that they're setting up for the murder. But
Yeah.
I felt like immediately as it became the crime scene. The writer just completely dropped the ball on everything. It's everything became a goofy joke of people that don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
And everyone became incredibly incompetent. And then you just have a butler coming at the very end and just say, well, I think I know how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess he'll solve it for us.
Yeah.
It's there's no, it doesn't even seem to suggest that Reiko is even good at
Competent.
this or intelligent.
Yeah.
Even she's
Okay, well, yeah.
and I don't know. He's just I don't know. He's just yeah. I guess you're stupid.
definitely compared to Kazamatsuri's Inspector Kazamatsuri.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
she's
Okay.
definitely competent compared to him.
Yeah.
Well,
he
yeah,
is-
but it's he's also I mean, he's crazy.
Oh, he
he's
is.
so dumb.
He is.
He is.
It's way too dumb.
I think no, but he is the perfect representation of his family's business.
yeah.
Pretty but dumb.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but it's
you
is
know-
that entertaining to watch a detective just stumble through doing anything? He's
I
he's making
mean-
jokes of you're the one who did it. You're the one who did it. It's this is so stupid. This isn't a murder mystery.
yeah.
So this isn't at all real police work at
Yeah.
all or real detective work. It's just he's just the slapstick
He's dumb,
comedy.
yeah.
I don't know. I just it wasn't for me. This whole bit I felt was just very bad. I thought with the beginning how well it was set.
Yeah.
That there would be a lot of I don't know, a bit more of an intelligent script going into this of what the mystery is and whatnot. And they decided it would be more important in the first episode to have Okabe. I just call him Okabe.
Kazamatsuri.
Yeah, Kamatsuri. From him just being
From Steins
from
Gate.
Steins Gate. I just think of I don't know. I think that time was used very poorly for his character. Or just for the show in general. Everyone's just running around with their heads cut off. Anyway.
Ignoring the fact that our lead detective is kind of annoying and how dumb he is.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though because I actually quite enjoy the kind of comparison of the lead detective is flamboyant and useless, much like the family's car brand.
Yeah,
But
I thought that's funny.
The family cars, like the brand that the family owns, the cars are really pretty, but they're really, really bad.
Yeah, someone like
So it's like it's literally like
yeah. Hey, who said that? I mean, that was
yeah,
pretty-
but like it's really funny. I really enjoy that kind of execution there. And sure, he can be a little annoying, but I mean, one of the things which I think really tempers this is the fact that it's Miyano-san.
Yeah, that's probably
Miyano
it,
is really,
honestly.
really good at being annoying without
yeah,
being
like
too
I'm not
annoying.
gonna say he wasn't good at being like I think he was his voice acting made that character more interesting.
Oh yeah.
Certainly.
Well, see the thing
maybe
he
just the
does
plot.
he does
The
a,
drama.
he does a lot of those really dramatic characters like Bungo Stray Dogs with Osamu Dazai. His character is suicidal.
yeah,
But everything is so funny.
dramatic. Yes.
It's so dramatic and funny. But yeah, he does play that character very well.
But what do we think then of, I guess, what was happening in this show?
I think you're onto something with the whole. It starts out really strong and then kind of peters off a bit. Mm-hmm. But well, you'd have to see how the rest of the story sets itself.
And I mean, honestly, I think it was meant to be like that. Like they were getting hectic because they were in a time constraint.
Yeah.
I don't think...
But the time constraint was completely made up. It was just like, oh, the guy just wants us to leave, so I guess police work ends at 5 p.m.
The time constraint was the fact that the hotel wanted that meeting room at 5 p.m.
Yeah, but they could just be like, let's just talk outside. Let's just talk right outside the meeting room.
I'm pretty sure it was because they had to lock down the whole area because it was a crime scene.
Yeah, but also if they had to lock it down where there's a crime scene, they can stop the hotel
Yeah,
from
that is
doing
very
that.
true. So
Like,
it's a little,
there's so
yeah.
many reasons why. And
Yeah.
they could also just say, can you come into the station? I mean, granted, if you talk
what they
about,
should've done.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
talk about it being like, do they have to go to the station? Technically not. They have the right to say, I just want to leave. But like,
True.
like to me, it was just a completely contrived reason to just be like, okay, well, we're on a time limit. Oh my god. And
Yeah.
the other thing, which is kind of a big part of crime mysteries, is that you can't like just ask the person later who attacked you or something. Like I get that they were
Right.
they had the whole thing where
Well-
she technically saw them and that stuff. But like
I don't
she's
know.
not
Was
dead.
she supposed to die? at
She's
the
not.
end?
No, she's
'Cause
not dead.
like,
She just passed
went
out. No, because they
I don't know
how
what-
was it that they did, that I figured it out? Well, they do something where it was like she obviously is getting taken away to go to like the ER. She wasn't dead.
An ambulance came.
Yeah, like she wasn't a corpse or anything. So like when they picked her up and they were bringing her to the ambulance, they didn't have like a cloth over her or anything.
Right.
So like to me that symbolizes she was still alive.
I see.
That is, I feel like, a big part of a murder mystery, or a mystery like this is to have like the person be dead. So it's a lot more like
a
dramatic.
big part of the murder mystery is
Is
the
having
murder.
a murder to begin with. I mean, the format of the Butler dude just kind of makes it seem like it's going to be like week to week new mystery.
Yeah, that'd
I mean
be
that's
annoying.
true. That is true.
I mean, which is kind of what I was expecting, and I was even saying like, murder mystery. Oh, that kind of sounds fun. It's all going to depend on how good that is.
Yeah.
and
I
it
think
was
I think
not
they've
good.
kind of
It
tried
was
to
really,
take
really bad.
court jester. Court jesters traditionally were very sharp-tongued, very fast-thinking individuals who mocked
Yeah.
their lieges, basically, and
see.
they used to keep them around for that fact. Don't quote me on this.
No,
But,
yeah.
like it's kind of to give him a reality check and go, no,
Yeah.
you're being a dickhead.
He's like not the only yes man in the group.
yeah,
kind of thing.
basically.
Yep.
So, and like if you think about it, that's a really good person to have.
It's a little bit of a stretch, I think, for
Yeah.
this. I mean, he's certainly unique in that. I mean, you don't know this guy that much, though.
No,
You don't
like,
really know
yeah.
the Butler that much.
No, we don't.
He just
But
said you
in-
suck, and then
Well,
it's
see,
like,
that's
I'm
the
going to
thing.
solve
He
this.
just randomly appears.
Yeah,
and
yeah, he just randomly
says
gives
Just
stuff
advice.
on
randomly
the
just
show.
appears and gives
Out
him
of thin air.
advice.
And like you randomly
just a
like
strange...
you see this kind of hand from off screen giving her a bunch of clothes and going,
just-
here, you'll need to change really fast, and she just takes them and runs.
I guess I'm just like, what is this? like,
What is
like,
happening?
What is actually happening? Which maybe that's a mystery. Who is he?
And the-
Why is he
okay.
his?
Is-
why is he her
okay,
butler?
Is the butler the overarching mystery in the show? I think maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it like it. I don't know. It was doing pretty well, and then it fell down like 3 flights of stairs, like, and broke all of its legs. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any belief that this show would get any better than what we saw in episode 1. That's just my opinion, I guess.
I was actually going to mention the opening animation, like the opening song.
The song
animation.
was good. I like the song.
The
Some
song,
of the
okay,
K-pop
the
song, but it was like-
the
it was
composer is
bop.
Hiroyuki Sawano. He does the
Oh, Sawano, yeah.
Yes, Sawano-san. He does the one of the OPs, I think, for 86.
Yeah, he also does. He also did work on I think Ray Zero or Ray Creators, not Ray Zero, Ray Creators.
like
and a
Attack
bunch
on
of stuff.
Titan,
Attack
Kill
on
la Kill.
Titan.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
he
a bunch
does.
of
he does a
huge
bunch
But
of
yeah,
stuff.
the music for it was.
All Noah Zero
Yeah.
is, I think,
Oh, no,
what you were
yeah.
thinking.
The music he creates generally, for what I've
Yeah,
heard, is very
that's
ethereal and like very flowy, and it's really
very
nice.
like very.
I quite liked it,
dramatic, yeah.
and it really fit
Nice.
the opening animation or the opening song animation really well.
The song was good. I like the song. The opening itself was kind of a slideshow.
Yeah, it was a fancy slideshow.
Anyway, scores.
Scores.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. I mean, which I did give it a pretty scathing review. They had something there. Maybe I'd give it more of a 5 out of 10 now. Thinking about it more. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I give it a 5 out of 10. What do you guys think?
I would probably give it 6, 6.5.
Yeah.
I was entertained the whole time.
Yeah,
I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Was there anything
Yeah.
else you wanted to say about it?
I mean, not necessarily. I don't think there was much I had to talk about other than I just think it had like good flow.
It did keep the
It just
pace
kind
up.
it just kind of kept your attention
Okay.
the whole time.
Yeah, I think I just started losing it a little bit, like when the mystery started.
Yeah.
I was very interested in.
Look, I have to admit the
and the
pacing
setup.
the pacing
The
did
setup,
change
I was
up when the
really
mystery
intrigued.
happened.
And then it just, I don't know, it dropped me. Well, I guess then with that, we'd
Yeah.
recommend it, I guess, Jen,
Yes.
if you're...
Generally,
I guess I wouldn't recommend it if you like mysteries. If you like a fun, sort of goofy mystery...
Like a comedy.
A comedy,
Yeah.
yeah, then sure.
What do we have next?
All right, next. Let's go to the next one.
Oh no!
We got... Next show is... Moo Moo.
Moo Moo. The choosing Moo Moo.
38.
38. All right, we all sound super excited. Talk about Moo Moo. So, me and the alien Moo Moo, Studios OLM, they did Apothecary Diaries, Call Me Son Can't Communicate, Odd Taxi, and the Pokemon movies. And the director is Takahashi Tomoya. They have lots of episode roles as an episode director, notably being in Hunter x Hunter and Gatchaman Crowds. They did a lot of episodes in Gatchaman Crowds. I believe it was 10. But then the creator of the show is Miyashita Hiroki, who I didn't see any notable other works of. All right, and I guess for description.
Yeah. Okay. A cat-like alien from a distant galaxy, Moo Moo, arrives on Earth. His goal is to learn about home appliance technology on Earth to recover the technology his species has lost. The protagonist, Sakurako, has a typical university life, but everything changes with Moo Moo's arrival. What begins as an unexpected cohabitation quickly turns into a whirlwind of chaotic events. The chemistry between Sakurako and Moo Moo leads to a super spectacular appliance-filled and cat comedy adventure.
Okay.
That's not exactly wrong.
It isn't. I mean, I think I pretty accurately explains it.
I find it very funny that the backstory of how they lost their technology. The aliens.
Oh yeah,
that was so funny.
They genocided each other.
Yep.
They did some horrible shit. They killed all the smart people.
They killed all the smart
And
people, and
he's-
now the dumb people have to work out how their technology works again.
Yeah, so it's like, so all the people that were the awful people that murdered everyone are like, oh, well, we need to get the technology back again. So, like, we don't learn anything. We never learn anything from this.
Because it said, like, they don't know how to use any of their they don't know how any of their technology works anymore. They just know how to use it.
But they also could just, like, go to Wikipedia. I guess the
think they
premise
have
makes
it
no
anymore.
sense. The premise just makes no sense.
I don't
Oh,
think
you
they...
mean for the appliances?
The appliance thing. Oh, I have to take this thing apart. The girl is literally reading you Wikipedia on how it works.
And,
It's
and neither
what?
of you understand. Moo Moo is like
Annoying.
30% cute and 70% annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like characters like this character, and like because it's just
I
like
think it's endearing. They definitely go for like he's a little
shit.
He's a little shit.
He's slightly endearing, but the thing is, if you are a genuine university student living in the apartment she was living in, you would not have the money to replace the fridge or the microwave that he just took apart and couldn't put back together.
I have to admit, I love the fact that like when you look at her apartment, it shows the rocket. It's just like landed
every
itself.
time. It's always there.
It threw me for a loop too when it showed the inside of her apartment, and like I had
It's
completely
through the
forgotten. It's
wall.
just through the fucking wall. Yeah. So like he's destroying her property.
It is.
Well, it could be the dorms stuff.
It could be.
But she
shit.
probably has to.
That's even
well,
worse.
yeah,
It
maybe
it
not.
depends if it's a dorm or
If
not.
it's a
It could be a
dorm,
dorm
maybe
or it
not.
could be just a typical 1K apartment.
Probably a 1K, yeah. But it's, I don't know, this show's
boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
It was boring.
And yeah,
It's like an education show.
It does
Yeah,
border. It
it
does
is.
border on being educational, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's educational for like junior high schoolers, not really for like elementary
Like adults
schoolers,
or
because
something. I don't know.
because it's like an
Oh,
elementary
I see.
schooler would not understand some of these technology, like the way some
Oh
of these
yeah,
concepts.
no, I wouldn't say it's for
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. Yeah, I guess you kind of bring up a good point. Like making it, maybe for like middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Is that an audience here? Is it?
Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems almost too basic for junior high schoolers, but
Her hair is poofy. Is all I gotta
It
say.
pissed me off.
It pissed you off.
Yeah, I just got so annoyed with it. The demographic is seinen.
really,
Adult men. Yeah.
It's old man. There you
Okay.
go. I guess it's they just see cute girl
with social
Robit-
anxiety.
with Robit.
I did not like her hair. It really made me mad.
It was so poofy. So poofy. I thought it was like fun, but then like she stood out from everyone else. It wasn't like everyone else had poofy hair. She just did.
Yeah.
Giant ball. She's just a ball of hair.
She's the ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting thing about it I found was actually, because it's fairly obvious that she has social anxiety, and it's pretty severe. So she finds it difficult to speak up for herself. But this doesn't extend to getting angry at Moo Moo.
Because he's a cat.
Because he's a cat and because he's an alien. It's an interesting contrast because, like, in some ways she feels close enough to Moo Moo to actually get angry at him, but she doesn't feel like that with the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
I see.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to mention that the voice for Sakurako is actually Hanami Momo, and it's her first voice acting gig that I saw. And that was who I was thinking of. She did the ED for this show.
Oh,
She sung the ED for this show with Moo Moo. Yeah, he's just kind of annoying, and he's just getting through their stuff, and it's like, let's have these meandering scenes and conversations to like explain what thermite dynamics is for a fridge. I don't know.
yeah. No, I found it more interesting that they 3D deconstructed the fridge
More than, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
with like all the little coils and stuff. If you're not someone who works with that sort of stuff, you don't really know like what actually
What's
goes into
inside.
it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's some fascination there.
Yeah, I didn't.
Not that
I
I'd
didn't care.
watch
I don't
it.
like science.
I hate science.
I hate science.
I hate science. I gotta have Bill Nye here.
I wouldn't watch it because of that, but I found that an interesting plus point.
Okay, yeah.
Thing for it.
By the end, when it came down to like that lady, the girl yelling at her for not like going to her class for her.
I forgot about that.
Again, this is another character who has like everyone being irrationally mean to her for no reason, and it's like that doesn't happen in real life. You could say it's like an analogy for her social anxiety that like this is her perception of how people view her. I mean, but of course it's happening in the show. But then it had the moment of her boyfriend pouring water on her head and then her running away screaming. And then they had
What the fuck?
they just had to throw in the oh my god, you look so ugly with mascara running down your
Oh my
face.
God, yeah, I forgot.
This is why trashy women like
Yeah.
who wear makeup are just like fake. And it's like, okay. Well, it's like
that
that's
moment.
that's such a cliche and shows that have more awkward, like quiet
Characters.
main characters.
Who
It tries
don't-
to vilify people of the
Yeah.
same gender who are more popular
Yeah.
and conform to social pressures of wearing makeup, or for men, like, I don't know, being more masculine or something.
I think that is a valid point. It's definitely a shorthand they like to use to create a tension there of like, oh well, the people who are awkward, they're more kind-hearted than like the people that are social and stuff.
Yeah,
which seems to me like something that someone who's like not really social would say.
Yeah.
To me though, I don't know. Like that's a very minor part of the work.
But it was just like
that is a
at the
very
end,
minor part to me.
That like just pissed me off more because I was bored
see.
the whole time,
I
and then
see.
they threw that in, and I'm like, was that really necessary to like make that comment about her makeup? Like,
Yeah, it's just very stupid.
Okay, so
Yeah.
ratings. What would you rate this?
Yeah, I don't know. I was saying 6 out of 10 is in like it's competently produced, and if this is something you like, then sure, I guess. I don't know.
I would give it a 5.
the animation wasn't that good, and the music was also kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. I'll still say, I think I'm also thinking in the potential of it being a little bit more interesting, but yeah, I don't know. As I talk about it, I feel like I'm getting more of a lower score for that. So I'd probably defer to a 5. What would you think, Krispy?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a hater.
Yeah. You're right. I'm
You've
just a
been
hater.
very happy with that the entire time. Would we recommend it?
Nah.
Probably not.
Not really.
Like, even people who are into like science, I wouldn't recommend.
Because people that are
it.
into science, this is
Would
very
understand
basic.
that.
This is
Yeah.
very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't really have an
probably-
audience. I
Probably
honestly feel
wouldn't
like.
recommend it, no.
I don't know. Yeah, you just want a cute. You just like cats. Weird
I
alien
guess.
cat things.
This is a good show for people who like cats, students at university, or the dynamic between alien and human.
All right, next we have the next one up on the docket.
Next
Oh, okay, we can
is-
see how many are left there.
Lazarus!
Ooh. Lazarus.
Okay.
Lazarus.
I am excited for this one. Number
I'd say.
15.
Let me see. 15.
Yes, it's number 15.
15.
I watched this before we actually got into the whole list of this stuff. So
Oh, really?
I've already watched like 5 episodes of this.
Well, I guess try to localize those thoughts on episode 1.
Yeah, no, I don't
you can tell us if
I
there's
don't
something fun
really
that
remember
happens.
like a ton because I've watched like 40 different anime in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm
you know,
I'm sure.
I'm trying my best.
All right. Well, this is a very easy one for background. Studios Mappa, known for a lot of really amazing stuff nowadays. Jujutsu Kaisen being one of them with pretty good animation and whatnot. I say pretty good, amazing animation. And the director and writer is Watanabe Shinichiro. And he's known for Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, a lot of like really big shows.
The year is 2052. An era of unprecedented peace and prosperity prevails across the globe. The reason for this: mankind has been freed from sickness and pain. Nobel Prize winning neuroscientist, not Scientologist, Dr. Skinner has developed a miracle cure-all drug with no apparent drawbacks called Hapuna. Hapuna soon becomes ubiquitous and essential. However, soon after Hapuna is officially introduced, Dr. Skinner vanishes. 3 years later, the world has moved on, but Dr. Skinner has returned, this time as a harbinger of doom. Skinner announces that Hapuna has a short half-life. Everyone who has taken it will die approximately 3 years later. Death is coming for this sinful world, and coming soon. As a response to this threat, a special task force of 5 agents is gathered from across the world to save humanity from Skinner's plan. This group is called Lazarus. Can they find Skinner and develop a vaccine before time runs out?
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Scientists decided, fuck everyone.
No.
Fuck them up for just, I don't know, feeling pain. That really is stupid.
No, he was like, I've evaluated humanity and I decided
That
none of you,
they're unworthy.
yeah, none of you deserve to live.
So, like, Super Hitler.
Yeah.
Super Hitler, yeah.
Super Hitler.
What was his like reasoning? Like
His
he said
reasoning
he
is
had
that
like
he's
an
like-
experiment or something.
Well, I think his thing was this idea of,
Oh.
like, people would stop using it or they would...
No.
Oh, wait, what?
It was that people would be better people
Yeah.
once they stopped feeling pain.
And they didn't.
And they didn't. They weren't better people.
He had, because I'm pretty sure the whole thing is he has the cure
Yeah,
for it. They
right.
just need to find him.
Right.
I thought he was kind of punishing people being like, for like using the drug and getting rid of pain, which is an important part of life. I thought he said something like
I
that.
don't remember that.
I thought he said like,
He
he's like,
might
pain
have.
is an important part of life.
He might have,
And
yeah.
people are now just using it all the time, willy nilly, and going in and falling into like. I
don't remember that
Like,
kind of-
Like lethargy?
I mean, I guess that was what I got from it, from what I heard. All right, so Lazarus. I don't know what you guys think about it.
It was good.
It was interesting. Yeah.
It was interesting. Yeah.
It definitely asks the big philosophical questions in life.
Yeah, like don't take drugs from strange doctors.
And that ends.
That's a question.
Does humanity deserve to survive?
Survive having a drug that was developed that seemed like a pretty good thing, and then they're sort of just signed their death warrant. I guess.
I think there's a good point to be made about like humans are destroying the earth, because he did make that point.
Yeah.
He does make that
And you
point.
don't deserve what the earth has given you. But then that's like not what he's totally getting at.
So okay, so like going through the show itself, the main like plot, I guess, of what's happening is that there's a doctor who has developed a drug that makes people pain free.
Sickness and pain. No sickness, no pain.
No sickness, no pain, which is pretty sweet. Okay, like pretty universal drug. You think it'd be like the best thing in the world, and everyone does think it's the best thing in the world. But out of nowhere, 3 years later, the doctor has disappeared since and has come back and is now telling everyone that actually the drug now, like ever since you've been taking it, it puts something in your body you cannot get rid of that will literally just insta-kill you in 3 years if you've taken it for 3 years. And so as the
Wait. It kills you in 3 years if you've taken it.
it kills you in 3 years if you take it.
Okay.
So as someone who's created the drug, I've seen that everyone using the drug is now descending humanity into even more issues. It says they're going after like immediate interests and whatnot, creating more conflict. That he deems that humanity should be punished somehow for that. And so he is not going to give the antidote to us unless everyone goes and finds him. And only then, in 30 days, as the time limit, and the first deaths will come from the drug. And he says, if you don't get me to me, then I guess you're just going to start losing people. Everyone's going to die and go extinct, I guess.
I think
Why does someone finding him, like, what does that prove about his point?
I think
Yeah, what does that prove about humanity?
the ability
Descending into
to
chaos.
cooperate and work together.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I guess he's wondering if, like, in a last-ditch effort, humanity can actually, like, work together to find this thing. Or if humanity's just going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to go out, like, just kicking and screaming, and then everyone dies. So maybe that's a point to prove. It's just a strange way to go about it, especially when you, like, literally created the drug. It's like, I've literally trapped you in this horrible situation. It's also, like, I feel like he says it's like, oh, if you're not suffering, you're, like, no different from dead. From dead. But it's like,
why did you give it to us then?
Like, you take painkillers and you take stuff because you don't want to feel like shit. Like, you still have to live life. You're still doing things.
It, like,
So
makes
it's just
me
like,
think
what?
of people who, like, are in constant chronic pain
Like, what
and
about
take
that?
Like, do they not deserve to have
You need
that
to
relief?
feel pain. Yeah, you need to feel pain for that. Or just like sickness. If it prevents sickness, that should be a straight up good thing for everyone.
Right.
Tons of people die because of that. So it's like this just seems like such a stupid thing to be like, I guess I'm going to murder everyone. Choose not to give them the antidote.
I also had the bone to pick with, like, the logistics of there being a universal painkiller, but there not being any discussion about how that would fuck people up really bad.
Well, yeah,
like, you'd have
true.
people breaking their legs and not realizing it, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, true. There's that element too. I mean, I guess they also don't explain like to what degree the
Yeah, they
painkiller.
don't- they don't- yeah,
Because
no.
let's
But
be
if
honest,
it's
if you had a
curing
full
all
numb,
sickness, then
like if you had a full numbing painkiller, I mean, I guess it's not numbing people that much. I mean, I'm thinking like
It
if
it probably wouldn't numb in the way we think of ordinary painkillers.
I guess you wouldn't be high either.
Well,
So
because, like, just imagine, like, if, say, for, like, general anesthetic, when you wake up from that, you can barely function. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
you can barely talk, you can barely think, you can barely move properly. So the drug obviously has to work in some other kind of way because people are obviously functioning normally.
Yeah.
What also kind of strikes me is the fact that this feels like very much a perspective of someone that doesn't know why people abuse drugs or do things like that, which one is a question mark with this. Like, are people abusing Hapna? I mean, probably, but they were not shown it in the show.
Yeah.
But, like, it strikes me as someone who's, like the reason people are addicted typically to abusive substances and whatnot is because, like, they're typically very unhappy in their lives. Like, it's not... Yes, there's the chemical dependency that you'll gain from that, but, like, it's usually from external factors that cause you into abusing. It's like this kind of idea where it's like, oh, you should just be punished for that. It's very much the, oh, you do drugs? Well, you should get the shit kicked out of it until you just don't want to do drugs anymore. It's like that, like, huh? So, like, to me, it strikes me as very much like a, I don't know, like, pretty stupid take.
There's a
He's
bit
a villain,
of,
of course, so...
how do we say, plot hole in the why?
Right.
The why and
It was
how.
a little
Yeah.
loose for me.
It felt a little like it was trying to be high-minded and just completely kind of missed the ball and, like, making an interesting villain. He just sounds like an idiot. He just sounds...
And he's definitely smart, but idiotic.
I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be very smart. Anyway, so...
Apart from that, how do we find it?
Well, okay, so I mean, like, going to the plot, the main character...
Who is also voiced by Miyano Mamoru.
Oh, yes,
And-
yes.
Yes, we have Miyano-san again.
He's back. And he sounds much more sane this time around. So, I mean, he's... it's interesting. So it's kind of like a... Get all the boys and girls back together for one last job.
Who were
One
never
last
together
job.
in the first
One last
place.
In the first... Yeah, we've never met in the first place. So, I mean, it's essentially a group of... I don't think they're criminals. They don't really tell us.
I think they're specialists in their fields.
They're like these specialists, specialist
One of
group
them's
on
a
the
kid.
edge. Yeah, true. A specialist group on the edge that is essentially tasked with trying to find the doctor. And they need to get our main character, they need to bring him into the fold so they can get him to help them with his special skills.
Our main character who is in prison.
Yeah, he's in prison, and he's got some pretty badass like fight scenes and whatnot, trying to escape the prison.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was really cool. Very, very well
Also,
done.
the classic jazzy music for that.
Oh
scene.
yeah, God, it was like I was seeing Spike all
Yeah.
over again. But it was good. I mean, I thought the animation was good. The action was fun. Music was fun. It did feel like that whole episode was just the chase scene.
Most of
It
was.
was.
Well, it was
Actually.
actually, right?
Most of it was,
So
yeah.
I think I was getting a little tired a little
Yeah.
bit in that. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
all
Look, I
right, yeah,
think-
this is certainly
yeah.
still going.
I
It wasn't
think
bad.
yeah,
though.
it
I don't
did.
know.
It did keep it interesting, and it also the chase scene also introduced you to a lot of the world while it was going on.
Yeah, like
You
talking about
got
the
you got to
drones
see
and-
like public transport. You got to see how their transport worked. You got to see how the cities are built. You got to see everything else with it as well.
yeah.
Yeah, it is like a little more futuristic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2052.
Yeah. The world mostly looks like it does now, just with a few technological advances.
Yeah.
It's keeping in line with how our technology is probably developing.
Yeah.
Which was like gives it that sense of familiarity. But I also felt like the whole show actually felt kind of nostalgic in a sense too.
Like kind of like almost like a Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
thing.
kind
like
of,
it
yeah.
felt like a classic show.
Yeah.
Of
It had this
crime.
kind of classic feel as well as like being futuristic,
Yeah,
which
I'd
is
say.
nice.
I'd say Watanabe had a big part of that. Probably. It's
Oh,
just like-
probably.
Like he definitely has a very distinct style. And I always love his. I always love the banter that he has with the characters. Where he, like,
Yeah, I did
right?
love
It's-
it.
it's-
Yeah, I do love the
It's always
relationships.
fun. It's always very like snappy, but also like very quickly gets you familiar with the people that that are in the show.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I think it's just like I mean I'll probably watch more of it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
I feel like I have more to
Already has.
say. Choreography was really good. Like just the shot
yeah, it was so
choreography was
good.
great.
Animation was so fluid.
It was very fluid. I did. Oh yeah, it was like 3 years of use you die. But like there's probably lots of people who did not use.
No.
One use and
No,
3 years
one
later.
use.
you die.
Oh, one
Which
use
was
and 3 years
unclear
later.
to
Then I
me.
was
If
unclear at
people
that.
just take it once,
You're
are they
screwed.
good for life?
Well, if
No,
you
no,
take
no,
it at
no.
a later time though, you're.
No. I'm saying if you take it once, you are free of sickness and pain for life.
That's one thing which I didn't quite
I thought
understand.
They showed
Right.
a pill. I thought they showed a pill in the episode, so it was like people were still taking it.
Still taking. I
I
see.
believe it was because people were still taking it.
I think maybe it's a one use cure. You take it once and it cures the thing you've got. If something else crops up, then you need to take it again.
Oh, maybe. I see.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm
that
not sure
makes
enough.
that makes more
That
sense.
makes more
actually.
sense, I think.
Okay. I honestly thought it was like a daily vitamin.
No,
You just take
I
this daily
don't
vitamin.
think so.
And why not?
I'm honestly not sure about the addictive
They
qualities
don't
of
really
it.
show you that though. So
I
it's
don't
not
think
really
we.
clear.
I think it did explain a little bit about it, but it didn't explain like everything behind Happener.
I see. The first episode, the chase scene was cool. I kind of wanted a little more to like sink my teeth into.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that was what I was like, which I found like kind of disappointing about the first episode. It was still good.
Yeah.
I think it was just I would like a little more, and of course I'm sure later you get into the show, it's gonna be a bit better.
One of the things I kind of found surprising was the fact that this show, like Lazarus, the characters and everything, they're set in America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
America has a female president in 2052.
Oh, really?
And I'm
It took
just
that
like
long, huh?
I don't know.
a female president, and I'm just like, you know what? Go America.
That's the
I
future,
just,
all
I
right.
just, well, I just found it surprising.
Yeah,
know?
I feel like it's,
That
I feel like
crops up in
every
a lot
other-
of American
a lot,
media.
A lot of
though.
American
A
shows.
lot of
Female
American
president.
shows give America a female president or something.
Yeah, or just a different president than an old white dude.
Yeah.
Just anyone, but an old
Anyone.
white dude.
God, dear God.
Dear God. I also put in my notes, God forbid I take an Advil. God forbid I take an Advil. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see more.
Yes.
Definitely, I think, has a lot to say. It just didn't tell me a lot of what it was yet.
I also wanted to add the ending is by the Boo Radleys, which is a 80s, 90s English alternative rock band.
Was that the one that did it? That was the one that was kind of like
It was in
Tank.
English.
It was kind of like Tank from Cowboy Bebop, right?
I don't really remember how it went, but I didn't realize that they were like an actual English band.
I
rock
didn't.
band.
I will admit, I definitely got Cowboy Bebop at home vibes from that OP. It was just so.
It wasn't Tank.
It was too on
It
the
wasn't
nose. Not too on the nose, but it was just exactly Cowboy Bebop's Tank, and it was just not nearly as good or
I
punchy.
see. I really don't remember how it went.
I hardly remember. I just remember being very.
I have to
disappointed
admit,
watching
I've
it.
never watched Cowboy Bebop.
It's really good. You should. You should watch. You should drop Lazarus and watch that.
You should see the look that Krispy's giving me right now.
It's intense.
Mouth agape.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess for scores.
Oh,
Scores. 7.5.
That's actually lower than I was putting it. But,
Seven and
but
a half
honestly,
seven and a half to an 8. As we were
Yeah,
talking, I was
actually-
just like, the doctor doesn't really have like just with the doctor and the
Solid.
medicine and all that. It makes it a little less solid.
It's going a little senile. That's just what happened. Yeah, I feel like I give it a 7. I was originally giving it an 8, but shit just don't add up.
I gave it a 8 out of 10.
It is very good.
Yeah, it's really
It
entertaining.
is quite an entertaining show.
And I just
Yeah.
I love the art. It's really good.
It's good.
There were times actually that the art was like not great quality, but it's like the animation was still so pretty. I was like, I don't even care.
The colors were a little like gray, but I
Well,
think that was more
I'm fine
realistic.
with
That
that. I'm
grittiness
fine
is
with
good.
that.
That grittiness is good. Problem is like Cowboy Bebop is just gonna be such a stupid good show that it's
You just
impossible not
you
to.
just need to stop comparing it to Cowboy Bebop.
But like that show is so gritty, but it's beautiful. It's like it's so the colors are so good. Yeah. Okay. So
Would
you
we
said
rec-
7.
yeah.
I said so. Oh yeah. Recommend. Yeah. I'd recommend.
Would you
it.
recommend
Oh,
it?
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
certainly,
for sure.
certainly.
Yeah.
And keep watching it.
Yes, and keep
Yeah.
watching it.
Yeah.
Certainly.
We'll be watching ourselves.
Yes.
I'm
Keep
Yoda
going.
now. Keep watching it. I will.
All right, we got 23 left to go.
Yeah.
So
Yay!
we got.
What's next?
God.
Oh my god. This is Yummy Healer. This is Dark
one,
Healer, isn't it?
Yummy Healer.
Yummy Healer.
Yummy Healer.
I just find the English translation for this is kind of funny.
It's yeah.
The Brilliant Healer's life. Sorry, the Brilliant Healer's new life in the shadows. Number 31.
Oh. I wrote a lot about how unhappy I was with this.
All right, so the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. Studio is Makaria. They did Zatsutabi this season.
Oh, okay. So they're handling 2 this season.
Yes, they're handling 2. I guess I forgot to mention that with the Zatsutabi. And director is Yoshizaki Joel. Just a few credits, not very much, but nothing I noted. And then the writer is Hishikawa Sakaku. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and he's not known for very much. So, yeah. So, I guess let's get right into it.
The description. Life hasn't been kind to Xenos?
Zenos?
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 You're
I
both
don't know.
saying it differently.
I don't know.
Xenos was my immediate thought. Xenos. He
probably
was
Zet.
born in the slums, and his dirt poor background has denied him almost every opportunity. After an encounter with a healer, he throws himself into studying to become one, and finally catches a break when an adventurer invites Xenos into his
Xenos.
party. Xenos is thrilled, so thrilled in fact, that he's willing to put up with his teammates treating him like garbage. They fail to appreciate his talents and ultimately kick him to the curb, claiming he's outlived his usefulness to them. Now bereft of money and out of options, Xenos decides to put his self-taught skills to use elsewhere and opens an underground clinic. Word quickly spreads about the brilliant healer working incredible magic in the city's shadowy underbelly. Even the royal palace is taking notice. Can Xenos buck the odds and carve out a life for himself in a world that's spit in his face? And can he save the lives of the patients who wind up on his doorstep in the process? Did I watch the first episode?
I was gonna say.
No, you did. I actually thought this was a different show we have on here. Until I thought this
Okay.
was the Unaware Tellier until you got to the part of him being a healer. No, yeah. So one, that does not happen at all
No.
in the first
That
episode.
that whole first paragraph talking about his party members and everything else, that does not happen.
That
in
does
the
not
first
happen.
No,
episode.
this
I-
whole description was not in the first
In
episode.
fact, I'm believing that I guess the first episode is probably in medias res, and then we're gonna go the next episode actually starts with his backstory.
I guess.
Maybe.
Which, like, what a shit episode!
It was
What a shit
horrible.
fucking episode.
It was so bad.
What is so? I
that
don't
was
know, it
not
really
an
bad.
episode 1.
That was not an episode 1 at all. That felt. I actually did take a double take when I went to because I watched a 6 episode.
Oh,
run of the
right,
show.
right.
I thought I was doing that with this, and I kept going back. I was like, no, that is the first episode.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so this guy's like a healer. I guess it's a world of healers where like they are the most important people. Like and what? Well, like no, sorry. He's from a country where healers are very, very important, and the healers are like kind of the main. Like that's the main industry of this country that he's in. That like healers are very renowned. And
but you have to have a license and
you
have
need a
money
license
and everything else.
You got to be a doctor. You have to have been, I guess, approved by a medical board.
Which makes sense.
Which
That
does
kind of
make
makes
sense.
sense, and it's starting to make me think we're going down the direction of
No,
you
but
don't
I
need
think-
you don't need
no,
these
no, no.
vaccines.
But-
You don't need those vaccines.
No, but I think
I'm an
it's
undergrad healer,
I think
baby.
I think it's nepotism though, because like
no.
the only people who can get into it are rich.
Yeah. So they have there's definitely this vibe of like class
there's
divided.
there's no merit
getting
system. Like
that?
there's no like you can do this, so we'll let you go to school and do this. It's
Yeah.
if you're not rich, you can't do it.
Which I feel like they could have had a bit of time maybe to talk about
Yeah,
that,
that
which
Yeah.
they just did
That would've
not.
been a lot more
In fact,
interesting
that
than
description described way more of the world to me than the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
episode
it
did.
did.
So the first episode we start out, I guess, with we start with oh my god, this like setup of
Not
like
even the main character.
not the main character, just these random girls
That
in a
keep
house.
showing up.
They're just like, I'm gonna stay for dinner because I'm gonna wait for so and so to come home. It's like
For this guy.
it's like what is happening? I mean, it's slice of life I guess is what they're going for, but
Yeah.
it's like it's very much like this is
yeah.
extremely boring. I guess it's a moment where they want to be like, oh, let's showcase their personalities. And they ate the stew. That was so
But
so
all
fun,
of their
wasn't it?
personalities relied on their obsession with
the main
him.
It
character.
really did, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even really like who they are. It's just like
Yeah.
how they
relate to him.
relate
Yep,
to the character.
it doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No, no.
Bechdel test.
They don't stop talking
Oh
about
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
it's got to be something about him. It's a harem show, and immediately
is.
tells you that.
I mean,
right out the
it's-
gate. It's like, yep,
immediately.
it's a harem show. So when we do finally get to our boy, our dude,
Our boy.
I do.
he's just being creepy. He's just being a creep. Okay, this girl,
I
he's
think
like a
he was
slave.
just strolling down the street,
Yeah, he
really.
is just-
Well,
strolling down the
he
street.
was strolling down the street. I'll get to that, I guess why.
Oh, yeah.
He was strolling down the streets, and he notices some like rabbit girl who's like enslaved to this noble guy. He's having her grave dig for him, and so she gets a curse because it's a line of work that gets you curses whenever you apparently. But then he does this whole thing of like trying to kind of like she's running away. She went crazy, and then she tries killing the aristocrat that owned her.
I mean, I'm like, serves him right.
Fair. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like, sweet, happy ending. The guy runs all the way to the Yami healer. And Yami healer is able to, through his awesome means of combat, be able to prevent the woman from murdering him, and instead non-lethally takes her out. And then he says, okay, well, I guess for the cost of saving her, I'll just take her off your hands. And the guy's like, okay, cool. And he leaves, no problem with him.
No,
he's fine.
it's not that. No, the cost of saving the noble's life.
Yeah,
he takes the girl and
her.
also takes all his money.
And yeah, that's true. He does take his money. He takes his money.
And I'm just like, you know what, serves the noble right.
Takes his money, which like, why is a noble robbing graves?
It's maybe
what
he's
is
like
happening?
a minor noble who like
He has
who's
to rob
trying
graves.
who robs graves.
He has to use
or
like a
something.
single
It's tough
slave
out
to
there,
rob.
Kringle.
It's
It's
tough out there.
It's tough out there.
Shit, I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah.
So I guess the creep part is the fact that he tries like I guess leaning into this thing like, yeah, I own you, so you better strip. And then like,
Which was so unnecessary.
and it's
all
like,
of that was so
it was
unnecessary.
so unnecessary. And it's just like, and you're like, okay, you're gonna just like make this girl completely uncomfortable like doing this shit. And like, oh yeah, that's because I knew you had a gallstone, so I just want to see that. You could have just been like,
Just say that.
You could have also just said,
I'm a
lift your
healer.
shirt a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, even with that whole setup was just
that
like
was just what pissed me off. Then.
yeah, I was
That
just
was the
like
main
I
thing
don't
that
like
pissed
this. I was just like this is bad vibes, and there are so many ways you can do this without this whole misunderstanding
It's just
shit.
like
What
so
pisses
weird.
me off about it is that's like a thing a lot in these types of shows.
You're
I
thinking of
won't
creeps, I'm not.
I won't say it's just anime. It's like it happens a lot in other stuff. But
does.
exactly, it's like actually it's your fault for thinking I was a creep because I was actually just helping you, and it's like you told me to
Still a creep.
strip.
You still
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
it weird. You made this weird, dude. Anyway,
but
that's
then
actually the episode.
The
so.
whole like, yeah, I need you to do a job for me since you're my slave.
like,
And then she does
Yeah.
the job, and then he's like, okay, now I'll release you from being a slave. It's like, you don't do that unless you believe that it's okay to have slaves. I'm like, I just gotta put that out there.
They're trying to do that like he's like, actually, I'm like a cool dude. Like,
Yeah,
I'm actually
and
like a
then,
really cool
no,
guy.
you're not. If you're a cool guy, you would have
I'd like
gotten
a
rid
cool
of the contract from the
dude.
start.
Oh yeah, you would have been like, all right, just get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, rip out your contract. By the way, can you help me out with this thing? I just
Yeah.
need flowers, okay? By the way, you got jaundice, so I know you have a gallstone.
Yeah.
Right. Come on.
Yeah.
2 seconds. But we wouldn't have had an awkward, sexy moment.
She wouldn't feel so indebted to you for the rest of her
Oh
life.
God, yeah, she wouldn't. Yeah, she would have fell in love with you, dude. God, I want to throw up.
Yeah. Look, okay.
It's bad.
I think the only redeeming quality about our about our protagonist Xenos is the fact that he hates nobles, which I'm just like,
He has a
based.
cool jacket. I like his jacket. I'll take his jacket.
Yeah.
Keep lowering my score. I'm like, it's not. Why did I even put it up there?
Also,
I gave it a 5 originally.
it was just incredibly boring.
It was
the whole
very
time.
boring, very boring. I think I gave it a 5 because I was just like, it's at like. I guess there's a part of me where I'm like, when it gets to like 4 and 3, I'm like, this is
That's, like,
deeply
normal,
offensive.
though.
This is
No, it's
deeply
normal.
offensive in some way.
Five
I
should
would
be
never wish
average.
this on my worst enemy, and I guess that's my problem because I think when I watch shows. Maybe there's this cope where I never want to think that I actually watched something that bad.
Something mid.
So the lowest I'll ever go is like 6, I feel like. But I gave this like a 5, and then I lowered it to a 4, and then I lowered it to a 3. And I don't even know if it has the merits for that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm going to say I would give it 3.5.
Yeah,
It's not.
I guess,
it's not
yeah.
absolute trash.
That's
Okay,
I think I
okay.
disagree, but like a trash, I'd say it's like 3 quality.
It's not
3
as bad as
level.
the intergalactic one.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
that's exactly true. That's why I gave it a 1 out of 10.
Well, yeah. So I mean, there you go. Anything is infinitely
not a
better
zero.
than anything is infinitely better than Intergalactic Hero. So I think
Yeah.
we should just out of there. Would we
there.
recommend it? No.
No,
I wouldn't.
Not really.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't recommend it. All right, next one. Let's see. Let's go.
Let's go.
Once upon a witch's death.
22.
22.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, I think we'll have much higher scores for this one.
Okay. Once Upon a Witch's Death, or Until the Witch Dies. There's a lot of different alternate titles, it seems. Studio is EMT Squared.
Squared.
I did not see any other
What's
works
squared
for
about
this.
it?
I don't know. It's made of squares. It's full of squares. The director is Nigorikawa Atsushi, and they worked mostly as a storyboarder for a ton of shows, like episode kind of show. And the writer's name is Saka, and no other notable works, I notice. So yeah, and then for description, let's see.
The description. So, on her 17th birthday, the apprentice witch, Meg, learns that she has only 1 year left to live. Her teacher, the long-lived witch Faust, explains that the only way to undo the death curse is to collect tears of joy and grow the seed of life. To find them, Meg will have to leave the sheltered life she's always known and head out into the world. There will be meetings, partings, and friendships aplenty, and of course many tears. Meg will learn the most important lessons for a witch are bright, sweet, and somewhat heart-wrenching.
What did you guys think of their show?
That's pretty cute.
It was cute, yeah.
I did. Oh, well. By the end, when she was collecting... When she ended up collecting it, I kind of teared up a little bit.
I'm going to full-on admit I cried.
I teared up.
I was not nearly as emotionally moved.
I'm just a sucker for, like, especially moms.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for family
I get
stuff.
I get you. I mean, so I guess immediately on her freaking 17th birthday.
Damn, this is almost
This
as bad.
is almost as bad as the other one again.
What, Lazarus?
No,
No.
she
CNG
family.
family.
Oh God. Well, like so. Yeah. Oh my God.
Almost as
The
bad.
15th
Almost as bad.
birthday,
Almost
yeah.
as bad. I mean, so this is awful. So she tells her a year before she turns. So I guess before she turns 18,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm only going to tell you a year that you have to make up 1,000 joyful tears.
No.
1,000
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right,
1,000
right.
joyful tears.
to even have a remote chance of saving yourself. And I guess I just didn't want to tell you because I thought you just put it off. So I'm gonna
But
tell you.
It actually deals with
What?
it during the anime. She says she goes, she thinks about it, and she's like, Meg is just like internally going, why didn't she tell me earlier? And then she actually answers her own question and goes, because I wouldn't have done anything about it earlier. I wouldn't have felt the sense of pressure I need to do something about it.
I think it's bullshit. I think that's absolute bullshit. If you knew you were going to die in 5 years, you would be like, I gotta get to work on that. Like, it's at least like, it'd be like something to have in your mind.
Yeah.
It like a year. So, okay, let's get into the math. She needs 1,000 tears of joy. Pure
crazy.
Joy. Yeah. Pure joy in 1 year. We go to 1,000 divided by 365. She needs an average of 2.7 tears a day. You throw that, you make that 5 years.
And she's already behind on day one.
She's behind on day one. She's behind on day one. If you made that 5 years, she would have only made, which is still crazy, half a tear a day. But like,
that's a tear every 2 days.
That's a tear every 2 days. What the fuck is wrong with her teacher?
But what if she is sick one day and she can't work?
Also, what if the teacher is like, hey, I'll help you? Instead, she's just like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Tea. Like, thanks for getting me my tea. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck? Like, to me, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
like, this is fucked up. I don't know. I mean,
ignoring,
like, there's an asshole.
Yeah.
An asshole.
Anyway. I know.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's cute, and I think the setting that mother story was definitely very heart-wrenching. There's definitely like, and I think this is something where I'm like, I feel like the show's not going to go in this direction, but it certainly can make it interesting. Is the concept of like someone coming to terms with their mortality, because it was pretty hard hitting. That she's like, I can't wait to see you as a witch when you grow up, and she's like, ooh yeah, I'm probably not.
Probably not.
So, like, that's pretty hard hitting. But I felt like the show never wanted to steep in that. It really wanted to like move on to cutesy stuff
because she's too ganky.
And that would bring her down too much. So I don't know. I guess like the topics felt very like mature in the sense of like what life is about,
but taking it very silly.
But it didn't want to. Yeah, it didn't really want to take it like seriously.
I don't think that's a bad thing though. Like,
I don't think it necessarily either. Yeah.
Because like it could take itself really, really, really seriously, but then would it be like too heavy, too boring?
I don't know. Certain shows sometimes are able to like I don't know, pull that off of being like because I think the show at least like definitely has an element of that with the way they did the mothers. Like she's able to get the nice like Sakura flowers to bloom, which
I need to like I need to have a caveat with that. It's like so many. I noticed this season in particular, but this has been a theme forever that so many anime like when they talk about. It's like always the first episode really that like when they talk about like some like when it comes to like supernatural stuff or like in this case traveling, it's like the example is always Japan. If it takes place outside of Japan, the example they use is always Japanese culture, and it's usually like the epitome of like beauty or
it's the most beautiful thing
like,
I've ever seen
it's
in my life. I did put in here, did they think foreigners are absolutely like stupid, like super stupid, because they were like, the pink snow came down. No one would look at that and think it was snow. It just could literally see it's a petal in your hand. Sorry, we were just we don't have brains.
Look up, there's trees filled with them.
Oh my god. Anyway, I thought that was really dumb.
That was a little silly.
Also, I did spot at 9 minutes and 41 seconds there was a car.
She has a cell phone.
When did she have a cell phone?
Like at the very beginning of the episode.
Well,
she had a smartphone.
I missed that entirely.
Which I thought was really interesting because the rest of the anime feels like it like takes place
in a fantasy world.
Well, I don't like.
Well, it's the real world. The
it
pictures
is the
of
real
them
world
traveling
just
is
with
the real
magic.
World. Yeah. And witches are a thing.
But like in the past, it
feels like it should be like say 200 years ago.
Yeah, but then she has a smartphone.
Yeah.
And then you saw a car.
Actually, it made me think. It made me think it was like 1800s.
It makes me think maybe it's like maybe where it's meant to be set is like maybe just an older looking town.
Makes me feel like it's like in Europe.
It does
like
look
somewhere
like
in Europe.
To be honest, it kind of.
I said it looked like Victorian, like
like
setting.
Yeah, like cobblestones. and
Kind of,
everything else,
yeah. But it's a weird mix. It's like an eclectic
Part of
mix
me wonders whether someone's taken
Well,
these.
that's like
Yeah.
Japanese interpretation of Europe.
Yeah. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm saying like the more fantasy elements mixed in.
Part of me wonders whether they've
odd.
taken the idea of like, you know how because in Japan there's so many older like town areas and stuff which is completely like older houses, you know, a classic kind of Japanese build, like classic Japanese build. But part of me wonders whether they haven't taken the idea of like old town and just made it European.
I mean, that is the case a lot in England. There are a lot of like neighborhoods like that. So I don't think it's out of the like. I don't think it's unrealistic for that to be a modern setting. But it was just like everything was very like she was walking everywhere. People weren't. They didn't look like they dressed very modern. I guess
No.
and then there's like a town doctor, I guess, was the other thing that was
Yeah.
like
the town doctor.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I guess like so. I do just want to mention, kind of going back to like I guess the vibe that like they didn't want to get too serious. I thought it was kind of like it was kind of silly when like the guy is like reminiscing about his wife and she's just like I don't want to think about that. Like she's like I'm uncomfortable or something. Like she didn't say that, but like she's just like okay, well anyway, like I'm like dude's trying to reminisce, just chill. The only other thing I did want to mention was. So the tears, the fact that they're tears, which I do want to, at first, when they got tears, like from those two, I was immediately like, wouldn't that be of like not joy? It would
then
be
it
like
wasn't.
of grief
You're right.
or like it would be sadness still, right?
It is joy
And I
and
did like that they were like, yeah, actually that's grief and that's a mixture of joy, but grief and other stuff too. But I guess it works. I guess they're just like, it's fine.
whatever.
But I do think the premise, unlike a lot of other travel shows, which is I feel like this is what this will become, traveling around, getting like helping people,
Yeah,
whatnot.
adventure.
The only thing is that like the fact that the tears are how you survive does make the process of trying to collect tears kind of like like it's sort of not forced, but it's like you're forcing these interactions into existence
Right.
because you need them to happen. I feel like it would be like you'd almost be very encouraged to just like churn these out.
That was my immediate thought when it was like first introduced. I was like, you're gonna have ulterior motives the whole time.
Yeah, you're gonna have
helping these
ulterior
people.
motives to
But
get
then
those tears.
When she started
so-
helping the little girl, a lot of the times she's like, oh wait, yeah, I'm like gonna die soon. But it was like
Yeah.
most of the time she was just helping because. She
But
first wanted to help
yeah.
the girl. Like she was really depressed. She's like, I don't want to do anything. And then
Yeah,
she remembered herself how she had lost her parents, and she's like, I guess I'll help you.
Yeah, so like I think that's good, but I guess it's like there's just sort of an inevitable factor that will come up, which
Especially
is that
the
I want to
closer-
survive.
The
Yeah,
closer she gets to
gets.
being 18.
I mean, hell, what the last like 20 or so, she's gonna be like, I need to get those tears. Like, I gotta get something.
My theory is that at some point she's going to do something for like a whole town
Yeah,
or something.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So she gets a lot of tears.
Yeah.
So I guess it commodifies it in like
Yeah.
into a
A little bit, but I think
an
the thing
item
is,
of some
if you
kind.
take a step back from looking at it from like a commodity point of view, it really adds a sense of you need to do this. It adds a sense of time pressure to
Yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah, the stakes are certainly high. She just has to make 3 tears a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks,
Like,
Teach.
yeah, she's
Thanks,
already
Teach, for that.
behind right now.
Thanks,
Yeah.
teacher, for not telling me. Like, the full
Look, I think
she would have tried.
yeah.
Anyway,
Moving away from the tears a bit, I actually do have a random fact about tears. Tears, depending on whether they're happy or sad tears, they're actually molecularly different.
Oh,
They
I
They
didn't know
really
that.
are.
All tears are?
Happy tears and sad tears have 2 slightly different molecular compositions.
wait, what?
I'm not kidding.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So maybe they come from different like parts of the tear duct.
I think it's just more about like the
Maybe the
specific-
way it's produced.
the way it's produced, maybe. At least
That's a
I've
body's
heard
reaction.
of that.
Maybe
that
there's, like,
sounds like something I've heard too. So
hormones coming out of it. I don't.
True.
I'm not
I don't
a
know.
doctor. I do not know.
I don't know. Anyway,
I also wanted to add I loved the carbuncle,
yes.
her carbuncle.
Oh my god, yes.
Carbuncle.
the little creature that was with her.
It's like a
everywhere.
cat fox like creature with big ears.
Oh yes,
And I loved all
completely
the
forgot about
animals
it.
she had. They
Yeah,
were so
I-
cute.
I loved
with their
all the
little
the
moe
little
eyes.
snake and the little snake
Oh my
too.
God.
He's like coming off
Yeah,
of like
they
the
were
railing
so
or something. That was
cute.
very
That
cute.
made the show for me. Like in the first scene.
that was cute. I guess there's a part of me where I'm like, this show doesn't need that plot line
It does.
of her
It does.
about to die. I don't think it
Oh,
needs that.
I see what you mean.
I don't think it needs the
It needs
plot
the
line of her
animals.
about to die. I thought I was like immediately into it. I was like, this is gonna be sweet. It's about the witch and her like animal friends and all doing stuff for the town. It's like, oh, actually, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
She needs to get that shit on down. Anyway,
Something I found actually interesting throughout the first episode. Granted, it is a speed run, but there is basically a small speed run of the 5 stages of grief for her.
oh, like in the episode.
Yeah, she at first she has feelings of disbelief.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's tempered by acceptance when she finally goes, okay, this is happening, and then she's angry because she's really angry at her witch, her mentor, for not telling her about it before now, and then she's really depressed until someone needs her help, which she then puts her own situation aside until she deals with the task at hand.
Okay, yeah. So it goes. What is it? It's denial,
acceptance.
No, it doesn't go to acceptance. Acceptance is the end.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say she accepts it because at the end
by
she's
the
like,
end.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can do this.
overarching kind of theme of acceptance,
direction.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can go different orders. I guess I'm just saying, what is it? So
Denial,
it's denial,
anger.
denial,
Anger, depression.
Bargaining,
depression, and then acceptance.
I
Yeah.
think is how. Typically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
I don't think I saw
that.
so much bargaining, but we did see a few of the stages of grief in this.
Yeah.
As she goes through it. Granted, it is basically a speed run for like the 1 or 2 days that she's helping this child, but
Yeah.
we do actually see that.
I have 2 more things I wanted to say that I forgot. When the teacher was first like, you need to collect these people's tears, I was thinking like she's gonna have to whip out the bottle and like
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. That was the whole thing where I'm like, oh, let me just get in there real quick.
Oh, you got another one coming.
Oh shit! Oh my god, you just got one too. They're running around trying to collect these tears. I was like seeing them cry, and I'm like looking at her.
Oh
like,
god, what are you gonna do?
Meg, what are you gonna do?
The other thing I just have to say,
Sorry, luckily they didn't.
I actually found her incredibly annoying.
Yes.
I
Okay.
did.
I was gonna just leave it. She was pretty annoying.
Yeah, she was annoying.
She's pretty annoying. She doesn't deserve any of that, of course.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. She just was.
It was a lot of it. I was like, if she were a guy, I would hate her.
These girls, like,
And she made it Yuri-ful with like proposing to that random girl on the street.
I forgot about that.
And I had to give her extra points for that, but then she was annoying again. And I was like,
No, yeah, she was a little. Yeah, she was just a little grating, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
She was a bit grating. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like if again she like if the show was like comfortable enough giving her like moments to be quiet.
yeah.
Of like understanding what's happening.
When she's like working,
sinking
she's
in.
fine. But it's like her reactions to things.
A little too ganky.
Yeah.
A little too ganky. All right. Reviews. I think I said this was like a 6 out of 10.
Oh, I said 5 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
I would put it as a solid 6.
I'd say 6 out of 10.
I think I didn't find her that annoying, so I've got that, I guess. I thought it was pretty interesting, like a fairly decent first episode.
Yeah.
Like as first episodes go, it was pretty decent and solid as putting down the storyline, putting down the world building. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just didn't stand out enough for me.
Yeah, it was just pretty average for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Would we recommend it?
Oh yeah.
Recommend it.
If I think someone would like it.
I think it's a cute kind of it's a cute show. If you want like a good like witch travel show,
Which has a lot of emotional roller coaster perhaps built in.
perhaps probably good emotional roller coaster. So yeah.
It's good for a cathartic cry if you're susceptible to that kind of emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Actually, it's probably going to happen a lot.
Yeah, maybe they'll do more of it.
Will she collect our tears?
Cheers of Joy requires a lot of
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'll be crying. I'm not sure I cried tears of joy at this, but.
All right. Well, yeah. Then I guess we'll go on to the next one.
So we've watched a lot of shows today, and we just want to let you know that these are our opinions.
If you enjoy a show that we discussed, don't let our thoughts get in the way of your enjoyment.
After all, we are just 3 nerds with mics who still haven't gone to Comiket. All right, so let's get started here. We're going to go record. Let's see. Okay, so we're halfway through, folks. I can't believe it's only halfway.
Oh my god.
Or I can't believe we've already made it to halfway.
True.
Okay.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
Classic
Classic Stars.
Yep.
Classic Stars.
Number
is up
7.
on the docket.
Arguably the best anime this season.
Classic Star. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, so let's see. Let's get into this. So, Classic Stars. Studio's Platinum Vision, and it's only known for Sir Vamp, I guess.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Sir
really?
It
Vamp?
did Sir
Actually, no.
Vamp. That was the only one I saw.
I have to say, the character design kind of reminded me of Servant.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I said it's bad, folks. It's not a lot of great stuff, I guess.
It is not the most impressive, I'll admit.
Studio.
Well, the studio.
Well,
The
studio.
studio.
I guess that's what I meant. Okay, but the director is Oba Hideaki. He worked on D. Grayman, and he works on lots of Conan as a storyboarder, and as an episode director, I should say. Series composition was done by Nagai Shingo, and yeah, so.
But did you just say Nagai Shingo?
Nagai Shingo. Long traffic light.
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
You're gonna understand someday. You're gonna understand someday why I fucking named you the worst in the world.
Well, I reckon it could be like it's either their actual name or it could be like an AKA.
Probably.
Kind of
Maybe a
an
writer's name,
alias,
something like
an
that.
alias, yeah.
His face, I believe, is on the mount page, so I don't know. Maybe just
I don't know.
unfortunate circumstance.
It could be different intonation.
All right, well, let's get into the description.
let's get into
what
it.
do we
Okay.
got?
So, description. Gloria Private Academy is a school where promising young people gather in all fields of entertainment, including music, art, and sports. In the music department, those who match the talent of great musicians are transplanted with a gift into their bodies and are called by the name of that musician. Beethoven, a young man who is discovered to be compatible after an injury, is one of them. After transferring to the school, Beethoven meets classmates with different gifts and discovers the charm of music while aiming to win the competition. What competition?
What competition? Yeah.
The competition.
Sorry, that was in the...
Yeah. No,
what competition? Okay.
That was my end of it.
So yeah, I guess it's so we first have to start with the fact that it's a boxer's dilemma. This guy is not a world class, but he's a scrappy young guy. He loves boxing. That's his whole thing. And he just had a rough time in the ring. He had to go through some surgery. Got it paid for, I guess, free, and he's going to a school. And we follow him through his meandering time trying to figure out where the hell he is in this AI-generated hellscape that is his school. So, I don't know. What did you guys think with that?
I think it reminded me a lot, well, I suppose... It reminds me, like, the whole transplantation of gifts and other things reminds me of the other one.
Hanadol.
Yeah,
Hanadol.
Hanadol.
It gives me a few Hanadol vibes.
A truly seminal work with its influences on the industry.
Yeah.
The boy band, idol genre.
To be honest, overall it didn't impress me that much. It just, something's lacking. Don't know what it is. Something was lacking.
Really
Everything.
Really,
is
absolutely
lacking.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the art, compositing, all of that stuff is very, very, like, it looked like it was all, like, in 720p.
It was so
and I
bad.
mean that as in, like, I was watching this in 1080p or whatever. I don't know. Everything was, like, very low resolution. It was almost like they had used, like, a single cut of these characters for stuff and then just, like, zoomed in on them for shots. They never, like, drew them in like, at scale or anything. The school, as I kind of mentioned before, looks like an AI fever dream.
I know.
The school, like, is like this impossible castle structure.
Nothing made sense.
Yeah.
And, like, yet it's incredibly bland, and it all didn't make sense. It looked like they used AI and then had a guy go over top of it and, like, edit out some parts or whatever.
Right.
It was really bad. So there's that. There's also the fact that, like, just nothing's making any sense. It's just, like, wandering around.
like,
Where am I? I don't even know.
I have, like, so many question marks
the
in my
music
notes.
department. Yeah.
Like, there's a whole thing where I'm just like, there's also a kind of magical tech machine which converts emotions into illusions.
They're in a tech machine, and I just put in caps fever dream.
Fever dream?
Like,
I have to say
soul.
they stole that idea from Revue Starlight. That they're in this kind of like underground. Well,
Look,
I guess
yeah.
in this case not underground, but arena where everything,
Their soul.
the stage, the lights, the music. Yeah,
But does that capture?
it's controlled by their spirit.
But does that like literally involve the audience? So they're like, like they're getting like thrown away, like
Oh my God, yeah, I forgot about that.
He becomes a
I forgot
phoenix, and
about
all of them
that.
are like, whoa, getting like blown away,
Literally
like
blown away.
attacked
Literally blown away.
by his phoenix dude. And then like, but he's singing, and then the other guy, who's the other phoenix dude, like they start like battling.
Yeah,
I guess
what was happening?
But it's like the force of their wills was just so strong, and then it's like, but the other characters that I guess just don't have wills.
They were too weak.
They were too weak.
They were weak.
I did actually save a screenshot, which I'm going to put up here to just show you a little bit of like the blow quality.
Yeah.
It was really rough.
Yeah.
But it's just like they're just standing in the chairs, like the audience, like just sparsely
guys.
sitting in the auditorium watching this dude, and it just looks so jank.
The only thing that I really got out of this is there's 4 of them who have the names of some famous composers, of which I got Mozart, Chopin, Beethoven, and Liszt something or other. Liszt.
I think. Is
I
don't
look.
know. I don't remember
I've
that one.
studied a bit of music, and I have never heard of this guy. Granted, I'm not
actually.
particularly. I'm not particularly versed in composers.
Liszt.
Oh, Franz Liszt.
Franz Liszt.
He's a
Okay.
Hungarian
I've heard
composer.
his name.
I have not. So yeah, I'm
Okay,
obviously-
but like famous.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
classical
claiming to be
musicians.
versed in all sorts of classical composers, but I know like
Yeah.
I know the famous ones.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
yeah, like we don't even get really introduced to any of the characters, especially like
Kind of. They just like
especially,
mad at each other.
Especially Beethoven, our main boy.
yeah.
We don't know his name. The only thing we really know about him is that he wants to box and he doesn't care about music.
Yeah, true. He's like, I don't give a fuck about any of this shit. Why are you putting me in the music department? I want to be in the sports department and everything. And it's
I need to say something.
yeah, go ahead. You got it.
The staff on my anime list, credited for the theme song composition is Beethoven. Von Beethoven Ludwig. Because it's reversed.
I forgot to even like when I was going through like the staff listings. I was like, well, wait, what the fuck? It's like they're listing all the people as like classic artists, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like a very cheap kind of show to make, because you don't have to like pay anyone for stuff. Which I guess is the whole gimmick that the songs they have are like are classic music inspired, like recreations, which I also feel like is like literally making them roll in their graves.
I know.
Because it all sounds like shit.
The very beginning, when he went to that concert, that was pretty sick.
Wait, that was actually kind of
sick.
dope.
No, that was
and the
pretty
dude had
sick.
wings and shit, and I was like, that was like the
epitome.
I forgot about that.
That was like the epitome of like
forgot about
visual
that.
K kind of
Oh, yeah,
performance.
it
It was like
yeah.
so gaudy,
It's so
and
gaudy,
campy,
and campy, but like it kind of worked a little bit.
Yeah,
You're
and
like,
that was
actually
the
it's
cool
not
part
even-
about it. But then they didn't end up doing that.
Yeah, they didn't end up doing that at all.
It wasn't
Instead, we
that
just got this
cool.
like we got it at home.
And
this
I know
shit,
they're
got
going to
some
be like
shit
the
other thing.
rivals or something. It's like the rivals already beat you.
Yeah.
They're way better.
Yeah, or just way
Yeah, they're
better.
so much better.
And I guess that's what they're gonna go for. There's like some rivalry or something they have to overcome. Besides that, and I said Bro 2 has too many concussions. Has too many concussions.
It is the gig.
We're seeing the world through his concussions.
So it's not great. The 3D was pretty bad when they used it too.
Oh God.
It was really rough. I said OP is goofy. The movements and dancing. Oh, that's right, because they had dancing was so rigid.
Oh my God.
It looked so bad. So it's it's just reacting when he's beating him up. Technically, is by singing. It was a pretty dumb show. Pretty dumb.
It was.
Yeah,
bad.
I think one of the comments I had is like, I'm not like, personally, I'm not this sure this show is for me.
Well, yeah,
But-
there's that too.
But if you like pretty boys with fairly decent singing voices and musical numbers, you'd probably like this show.
So that could be like a recommendation.
Speaking of pretty boys, best boy. You have to get that answer.
Best boy. Let me.
You're making me look this up.
I have
me
my
actually-
answer ready.
Classic
let me see. Let me just
stars.
pull
I'm not
up
even gonna
something
hide this.
called
Stars.
Now.
Just give me a
Wait.
color. I don't even.
I
don't
need
want
to
a
see
name.
the color. I forget the colors. I'm colorblind, Crispy. How can
Damn.
you say that? I like the purple hair guy. already. Lists.
Yeah, he was my favorite too. He was my favorite because, as I guess the opening ending showed us, he's a cross-dressing king.
Oh, I always like in the boy bands. I always like the dubiously straight member. Dubiously straight. I always love the dubiously straight character. So,
well, he's a cross-dressing.
Oh, who am I talking about?
Cross-dressing womanizer.
My favorite is Lost Beethoven, the guy with the wings.
Sick,
apparently,
dude.
his name is Lost. He's
Beethoven.
lost it. He's fucking lost it, dude. Or Lost Vivaldi. Oh shit.
Lost Schumann.
Okay, I can tell you, I definitely didn't like the most, and that was Chopin. I hated Chopin.
Oh my god,
what a little shit.
I did not like him.
So annoying.
You're a little fucking asshole.
Also, I have to say,
it's like, what the fuck? Get off my ass.
That nobody had actually subbed the show. They just used AI to sub the show.
They did,
and it was so bad. I just turned off the subs.
But I guess I get what you mean. I mean, it sounded rough. The script
it
sounded
was not
all
at
over the
all
place.
accurate.
Oh, that too.
And
yeah.
I just turned it off. But it was when it was when it was doing Chopin's lines, it was especially I don't know,
abrasive?
hectic and manic. It was,
I guess the subs for mine were not like that. They seem to pretty much convey. They seem to convey him just being a snarky asshole.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think List is very funny.
What
yeah,
scenes did he
He's
have?
Playboy. He's the Playboy.
He
was
was running away from all
one
the
that we
girls.
both said
He was
too.
he was running away from all the girls and stuff.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
I think it's just because he's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all chose List, and then also we all chose.
Chopin is the annoying one.
Well, no, but
Lost Beethoven.
Chise.
Yeah.
Oh, from the other
Yeah.
Hanadol. Oh yeah.
Apparently,
Which they're
like
So we have similar boy band taste,
Yeah,
I
we
guess.
do.
Though, I mean, hey,
Lost
if they told me a little bit
Beethoven.
more about Lost
Damn.
Beethoven, if they introduced me to Lost Beethoven. Who knows?
Damn.
All right, review. I said, so this is, I feel like, really also showing how I do these reviews. I gave us a 3 out of 10 because I feel like it was falling apart at the very
It was.
seams.
It was.
It was truly falling apart at the seams.
Genuinely, I felt like it was a fever dream.
It was kind of
It
a
was
fever
very
dream.
fever dream code.
The
So,
art, the
yeah.
setting, the music,
Everything.
even down to the subs, nothing made any sense to me. It was all in all a really bad experience.
Yeah.
Just imagining that the guy writing the subs is fucking going crazy. He's having an aneurysm.
Yeah, no, I think I would have to give it the same rating, like a 3 out of 10.
All right, 3 out of
It's
10.
really, it's bad.
It's not offensive.
It's not
I gotta give it
offensive.
that. It's not offensive.
I for once, I
Not
actually
recommended.
feel like I'm being a little critical. I gave it a 0.
You gave it a 0. You
a
gave it the
0.
same as Intergalactic.
Oh my god.
No merit. 0 merit.
0?
Even though you said of a character that you liked.
I didn't say I liked
Give it a
him.
1.
It's just best
Give
play.
it a
Give it a
1.
one.
It's
Change it to
still,
one.
by
It's
being a 1, it's
It's
still
one.
infinitely better than
I just think after I watched it, I was like,
dear God.
I was losing my mind.
Yeah. Would we recommend it?
No.
No, I wouldn't recommend
No.
it. Watch anything else is probably better than better waste.
There
There
are many more like boy band shows you could watch.
You should watch Hana Doll over this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's saying something.
All right. Let's get going.
Yeah,
We
let's
need to
keep
move
going.
on.
What's the next one?
Record. Okay. All right, next, let's go.
Oh,
Oh shit.
okay.
Catch me at the ball.
Catch me at the ballpark.
Catch me out at the ballpark. Find me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
What?
I don't care if I ever come
I have a
back
question. What's a Cracker Jack?
It's like a mix of like caramel popcorn and like nuts all together. It's like a brand of like
Okay.
snacks.
Okay.
That's very been around for like ever, like 1900s,
Okay.
when that literal song came out. Okay, so catch me at the ball game.
Catch me.
Park.
Catch me at the ball game.
Ballpark.
Park.
Catch me at the ballpark.
Catch me out at the ballpark.
No.
Wait, this was number 6.
Yes, it was number 6.
One from Classic Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, so catch me at the ballpark. Sorry, I should say catch me at the ballpark. Studio is EMT Squared, who did another show. I forget which one. Maybe we'll have to go back through. The director was Kitamura Junichi, and he is known as a key animator and a director for his directorial debut. So that's actually his first time. But he was a key animator. Worked on a bunch of different things. The writer is Suga Tatsuro. So let's get that description.
Yes, the description. So, to escape his tiring job, weary Murata finds escape at a nearby baseball stadium. While the games are thrilling, it's Ruriko, the gyaru as cold as the beer she serves, but secretly a sweetheart, who keeps him coming back. As her first regular, Murata discovers the warmth behind her frosty demeanour, and their hilarious, heartwarming encounters light up the ballpark and maybe even their hearts.
Aww.
Oh, that sounds adorable.
Honestly,
I was pleasantly surprised by this.
I like this. I actually like this.
I was
I thought it was a
pleasantly
cute
surprised.
little thing. I mean, there's definitely going to be an element of it's literally an industry of girls that look cute that go around serving beer. So I get that there's some element of sort of being yeah, we're gonna be cute girls going around. I don't know. Maybe there's this element where it would be likely for me to maybe be more cynical of the guys falling for something that isn't there. But I mean, I think they characterize what was her name? Ruriko? Ruriko. I think they characterize her well enough that it's kind of cute. She's working out, trying to get better at this job. She's, I guess, shy around customers, which she didn't seem when she's talking to him. She seemed very, very capable.
She's acting.
I guess she's just acting. She's just
a good actor.
But I don't know. It's a cute little setup.
She is voiced by Fairouz Ai, Power's voice actress.
Yeah, I thought I recognized her. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think she did a great job.
She was really cute.
Yeah, it was very cute.
Yeah, it was just overall a really cute show. I was not expecting it to be as wholesome as it was.
Yeah, and it's it sets itself up as a it's kind of like shorts, I guess.
Yeah,
it's a full length episode, but they sort of split it into different people at the ballpark. I really love that concept.
The first episode is half and half. The first half is about Ruriko and Murata. The second half is about the security guards and their interactions with the clientele.
Yeah, and Ruriko is also there.
Oh, yeah, and she also happens to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this concept of we're gonna go to a ballpark and we're gonna go follow the individual stories at this park. I think that's really cool. I don't know. It kind of gives some more pride to a very unknown part of, I guess, I don't know, fandom or culture.
I appreciated the humanization of customer service jobs.
That's true. Yeah.
It made it seem a lot more important than I think a lot of people think of it as.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think it was cool, and it also kind of shows the inner workings of what it takes to run this place, and as well as kind of also highlighting the different types of fans that come and that sort of thing, or the small joys of going to a ballpark and stuff. I'll be honest, after finishing it, I wanted to go to a ballpark. I want to go to a ballpark, get some teriyaki and beer.
I did not. I
don't really like baseball, but
I love baseball. That's a different problem.
I don't really care. Saying I don't care about baseball in Japan is almost a taboo at this point.
Yeah, I got to keep that in.
But I personally don't really care about baseball.
Yeah.
I'm not really much of a sports fan, so there's that kind of thing. The interactions between Murata and Ruriko were kind of interesting, but I was just whatever.
They were pretty cute.
It was cute, but
I thought they were cute.
It was cute, but I feel like it didn't leave a lasting impression on me.
Yeah, he's very much man with very little self-confidence.
Right.
So he's almost it's almost a scenario where it's he would be very easily able to fall hook, line, and sinker for any girl that's nice to him. So I guess there's a little part of me where I'm just a little cynical about that. But I think the little interactions are cute.
Well, they're definitely cute.
I really like her teasing is very good. It feels very real. It feels very real in a way that I was I totally could see someone be like this.
Yeah.
Which just made her, I think, just more interesting as a character and stuff.
Yeah. I think the second half of the episode for me was a little bit more interesting because it widens the world which you're introduced to in the first 10 minutes. So, because it introduces more characters like the security guards. And so the story then goes from being centered on Murata to being centered on the stadium itself.
Yeah.
Which I find was very interesting, as we said earlier, customer service. And, it also showed, I think, the repeat customers and that sort of thing, how they're just how's it going? To the older security guard, and like
Yeah,
how he knew
I love
everyone
that scene.
else.
Yeah, that was great. I like he's kind of like he's greeting everyone. It's kind of like a little bit of like there's a good like camaraderie there. They know his name. He knows them. Like I don't know. Yeah, it humanized their industry in a way that I felt was very cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think it also brings a lot of humanization to the first half of the episode, where it looks at more of like the beer girls and
or from like the fans' point of view, a little bit maybe.
Another thing I liked about it when the show started, and I hadn't read anything before I started watching it. When the show started and it was like a bunch of girls in like cheerleader outfits going around with beer, I was like, oh god, like I am not looking forward to this.
I wasn't sure I was gonna go with it too.
There was zero fan service.
So I was like
so refreshing,
pleasantly surprised that it was like it wasn't just going to reduce these women to being like they're just pretty looking to get guys' attention. But it was cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was sweet. It had a lot of heart too. That second half where they have the security guards. There's the security guard who's like, I don't give a fuck about this place. This place sucks. Whatever. It's just such a boring job. And then they have to like find a kid who got lost. And then he realizes that the old security guard that he's working with gave him a candy when he was lost as a kid at that ballpark. And it's all full circle. And he's like, God damn it. Maybe there is something to this job. Maybe there's a little something more important, a little more heart here. I love that. That was it's a good little message.
I think overall, this anime, so far, takes a look at how like public institutions bring people together. Like they make their own communities apart from say where you live or the people you know or where you work. It really takes a look at like whether you have to pay to get in or not. It doesn't really matter. It's about like the sense of community which you can make outside of like work or home.
Yeah, 2 points I have too is the fact that like the main character, the guy, as I mentions, he's like I always thought third places were like kind of cringy. He said that he's like I always thought the idea of third spaces was pretentious, but he's like I kind of get it here. Like it kind of makes sense that this is like a third area like place to go to just enjoy your time as well as be part of like a community of some kind.
And I think like with that too. With the whole community aspect of that, Murata, as we see, he's not particularly either confident nor is he particularly outgoing, which also makes me think like he's the point which kind of gets brought to me, like kind of told to me there as well, is the fact that you don't necessarily have to be like a really extroverted butterfly to actually go to these places. You can just go there and enjoy your time.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
It's good for anyone.
It's good for anyone. Yeah, I think that's good. Another part of me is I feel like sometimes with a lot of like anime that do this like very kind of like deep dive into specific topics, it's also hard for it to not be like an advertisement to get you to go to a ballpark. This did not feel at all like an advertisement. I feel like a lot of times they'd be like, oh, let's get into the statistics of how much it costs and like what makes it like amazing. And it's like, no, we're just looking at the human characters who live here.
It's about the people.
It's just about the people, what they do.
And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the only mention of money throughout the entire first episode is when he's calculating like, wow, this bento cost me this much, that was amazing. And then when she was trying to make him buy another beer or something, and he was just like, yeah, I'll do it, kind of thing. And that was I think that was the only mention of money. It was done very
she's getting like commission.
But it was like it was done really naturally. Like it was just like, okay, this is just natural, it's not actually put in here for anything, it's just how it goes.
I gotta say, I haven't been to a Major League Baseball game in a while, but like it would actually be incredibly convenient to have someone just walk up to you to give you the beer that you want to get. Like that was something I remember when I went to one game a long time ago where it was like I gotta go. No, not here.
Oh, in America.
Back in America, where it was like I gotta go all the way back up to the stands, get in line, and get that beer, and then come all the way down. And it's like I already missed like half an inning doing that. It's a convenient idea. So
I feel like it's very Japan.
It is. I mean, the fact that it's all women makes it very Japan.
Yeah, it's pretty Hooters.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just practically Hooters. But hey, they're working hard. They gotta break their backs for those kegs. They gotta break their backs for those kegs.
That was another thing. She talked about like how much like
the kegs weighed and everything else.
Well, yeah, and she's like, I gotta walk up these damn stairs.
It was
with this
crazy.
keg on my back.
It was kind of cool too, thinking of the fact that there's like literally a part in that stadium where they got like got a new keg. I need like got an empty keg, and they're like always like get out of there. Go. Some like a military operation. I don't know. Great show. I liked it. Pleasant show, I would say.
It was very sweet.
As a rating, I think I gave it like a 6.5, but I think I honestly would probably up that to a 7. It's honestly like such a pleasant show.
It is.
I think I would just continue it. I think I would just like watch through a little bit more. Maybe not all the way through, but I don't know. I just liked it. Very chill.
Yeah, same. I also gave it I was like going between 6 and 7. I think I'd stick with 7.
Okay.
To be honest, I think I'll stick with 6.
Okay.
Just because baseball isn't my thing.
Yeah, in fact, I think the reason I would probably get into it more is because I noticed they started talking about with the players and like what their stats or what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they have a player arc in there,
Yeah, that'll lose me.
see, I love that. I love that. So
I'm contributing to the stereotype that women don't like sports, but
I don't.
but I don't. That's just how it goes.
I like baseball. What can I say? So yeah,
Would we recommend it?
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
I think
I would
we've kind
recommend
of
it.
given
I
our
wouldn't
thoughts
recommend
why.
it to people who don't like watching sport. Or like,
Honestly,
even
you probably could.
then.
yeah, it depends. I think.
Like again, it's about the humans. It's about
If
the
you
people.
if you like sort of like an ensemble, how would I put this? An
Yeah,
ensemble
ensemble
setting,
cast.
ensemble cast,
Yeah.
with a little bit of romance thrown in. I
Yeah,
think you might like
cute.
that. That's definitely what they're going for. Catch me at the ballpark. Like it's gotta be. It's gotta be a romance. So all right. Well, I guess in that case, let's go on to our next one.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
What's
we got
next? Oh, okay, Atelier.
Yes, the Unaware Atelier. Which
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
I think I
Unaware
may
Atelier.
surprise you with this. Maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe not. Maybe I won't surprise you at all.
I wonder.
We'll see. All right. Unaware Atelier. That was a way later. 37.
I've noticed a lot of Japanese shows and stuff really like to use the word atelier.
I think ever since they realized that the Atelier series is like very popular.
Yeah, there's a game series.
I know.
Yeah. Well, especially since Atelier Ryza. Let's see.
The full name is 勘違いのアテリエマイスター。英雄パーティーの元雑用係が実は戦闘以外が SSS ランクだったというよくある話。
After leaving the heroes party, after getting fired from the heroes party,
That's like the
but
whole
he's been in SS rank the whole time. Anyway, okay. Studio is also EMT Squared.
Oh, okay.
So we're like on a roll of just like 3. They did
That's like
3
3
shows
or
this
so at the
season.
moment, yeah.
This season. Okay, yeah. So the Unaware Atelier Meister Studio EMT Squared did 3 shows this season. Director Ishii Hisashi, and he did in betweens for Legend of the Galactic Heroes. The original Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Okay.
No, not
Okay.
Not
I
this,
was-
not that show.
Legend of the Galactic
ready.
Heroes.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Very good show.
Yeah.
Which means this guy's old, is what I'll say. So that's an old show.
Yeah.
Writer Tokino Yosuke, he did lots of isekai. He's like, well, the isekai with a cheat code. I noticed. Maybe people know that. Who knows? But, yep. So, yeah, let's get that description. What do we got?
Okay. It's long. Okay. Despite having no real combat talent, kind 15-year-old Kirk Rockhans
Damn, he's
belongs
young.
to the famous party Flaming Dragon Fang. He is perfectly satisfied as the party's helper until the other members kick him out and replace him with a stronger ally. Left without a way to provide for himself, Kurt begins searching for a job. With his job prospects limited by his lack of combat ability, Kurt gladly accepts any work that comes his way. During one such job, he meets Ulyssia, an adventurer formerly employed by the royal family. Surprised by Kurt's impressive work, Ulyssia discovers that he is no ordinary boy. Kurt possesses an astonishingly high aptitude for a variety of non-combat fields. Due to these talents, a court official tells Ulyssia to offer Kurt a high status in the kingdom that would allow him to live in peace for the rest of his life. When Ulyssia informs Kurt about his potential rank, he brushes off the offer, refusing to think of himself as above other people. Still unaware of his real power, Kurt continues taking as many odd jobs as possible, which might just make him a pivotal part of the kingdom before he even notices it.
All I'm going to say is this blurb, this
Was the
description
entire
goes
first episode.
and more.
Plus more.
And more.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole episode.
We don't even have to talk about it now.
All right, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. All right, next one. No, so,
Good talk, man.
I don't know. What were people's thoughts? like actually had fun.
I had
watching
fun with this.
show.
I
had a lot of fun with this
I had
show.
fun with this. I like this show.
This show is so goofy and stupid, but I
love
kind of
it.
loved it.
I liked it. I just really
it
liked
was
it.
a version of overpoweredness that I didn't think really could. I haven't seen before, where like he's just incredibly useful.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought it was very funny and fun and goofy.
He's very baby. And
Yeah.
he's very cute. And
even I gotta say he's cute.
Although
yeah.
one of the so he's really nice. He's really cool.
Yeah.
He's a really adorable main character. It's the other characters I have problems with.
Yeah, the other characters are pretty stupid.
So just start out with like his party members or his former party members of the Flaming Dragon thing.
assholes.
They are. It's just so
that's just the
unrealistic.
thing.
That's just the point. That's the setup.
That's the theme.
That's the
It's-
setup.
it's
Is that
the
they're
point.
These
assholes.
shows.
They're
Yeah.
assholes.
Yeah, and like I've got a note in here which says I just feel sorry for Fenrir. And I'm just like I can't
the dog, the
Yeah.
pet they killed.
Yeah.
The Fenrir is the giant monster they attacked. In the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're so
oh my
scared they
God.
murdered a dog.
No,
God.
it's the giant mythical
yeah,
wolf.
giant mythical dude.
But the reason
Poor
the reason
pet.
I said this is because the rest of his party members were such dicks. I was just like, this poor beast. Like that's it. And
Yeah,
like
what did he even
obviously,
do wrong?
obviously,
Yeah.
who likes a dog getting murdered at the start? He's just
I
he's
think,
just a puppy.
I don't know. I think just there was the whole like funny bit where like he goes to Hello Work, which exists in this
Yeah, that
world
was cute.
because he was unemployed, and I'm
Yeah.
already like, what? This is so silly.
It is.
And then the worker, of course, surprise, surprise, the Hello Work person is like really bad at their job.
Yeah.
and doesn't know how to find him a fitting job. But
Yeah.
she's like, oh yeah, you can help like make the wall, which is like, which ends up being like a public work project to just like give the community money.
And it's
he,
like an entire castle wall.
yeah, he like ruins it because he's too good and he's building the wall too fast. They're like, we need poor people to make money too, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then they
Socialists here.
yeah. Well, it's like, well, and that happens a lot. Public works project. I mean, like, so I think it was just funny to me that it's like, oh, so he's overpowered, and the way he described, he's like, yeah, I just throw cement, at the wall, and then use like a tiny little thin thing to like to me that image in my head was just so good.
Yeah. I'm just like,
so-
can you imagine concreting something like that? Like,
Yeah, and
with a
then-
tiny little scraper.
yeah, just like I think
Just
I
grab
think-
up handfuls of cement, chuck it on the wall, and then just like
but
the wall.
but they tend to do that with the show where he's just like, they don't show you exactly him doing
No.
it, but it's like
You can,
they'll
it's
just
so,
show, like,
you can imagine it so well.
the lack of them animating it makes it funnier.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
For sure.
I think also another thing, like with Kurt especially, which makes him even cuter, possibly slightly annoying, but his obliviousness.
Yeah,
It is
he's so
funny.
he puts himself down all the time.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's
no,
like
those
a-
guys were
it's
probably
kinda
better.
sad.
That's a theme, though,
It's kinda
with
sad,
a lot
but
of
yeah, it
these
is,
shows.
yes.
Well, I don't know. For some reason, this feels like particularly like
Because he's a kid.
well, but it's like it's part of the comedy is that like he always finds a reason to rationalize why like he's not actually good. Like and
It's like
and
when
it's
she-
everyone
it's-
else figuring
yeah.
out like wait, it's like what is going on? This kid's like insane or
No,
something.
but it's like, but you see, like he's had this theory kind of proven to him several times though, because you know how they had the receptionist at Hello Work was just like, try lift this sandbag,
Yeah.
and then you find out later that this sandbag isn't just sand, it's magical sand,
Yeah, like,
which
sucks up
gets
your magic.
heavier the more magic you have.
yeah.
And so the reason this poor boy's struggling to lift this is because he's actually like triple S rank.
Yeah, it's a very like it's a gag comedy,
Oh, yeah.
and I feel like it has a lot of that like going for it. This stupid girl's like, I have a whole ass mountain. They're gonna impound my mountain.
My mountain.
Impound my mountain, and she's just like, I don't know. I just gotta get gems. Just dig in
But
the
I have
ground.
no money, but I own
I
a
love-
mountain.
He's like, what do we do? And
I-
she's like,
I-
oh, you
yeah.
don't just dig anywhere. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
like let's just open rocks.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
like, girl, you don't just dig anywhere for this shit.
It's so stupid.
And like you learn also that he's from like this like town in the middle of nowhere, and how he's done all this really like Zatsuyo, like the really like miscellaneous jobs before.
Yeah, and what he says is he's like built a cabin, and he was like, "Yeah, my town just
They
does
do this all
is
the
like
time.
this is
Yeah,
normal."
and it's
I'm like, where the
does
fuck
he,
are you
it's
from?
like does he
I
come
don't
from this
know.
mythical superhuman population in this
Yeah, I
little
know.
town somewhere?
Yeah, and he has
because
to. He has to.
she was like, wait, there's a town there? Like,
yeah,
nobody
it's like,
knows
what?
about this place.
And then that girl used the government to spy on him and get
She
public
is a
record.
narc.
Yeah, she's a freaking narc.
But she also helps hide his identity near the end. We have to remember this.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of silly.
Because she's a narc.
There is, I think it's funny because there's definitely like an element of a harem that's of course going to build over this. I do, for some reason though, I thought it was kind of cute when the Hello Work girl actually kind of likes him.
I didn't think that was cute
silly.
because they're all adults and this is a child.
I forget he's a child
He's
all the
15,
time. I forgot about him
and it's
being a
really
child.
creepy because it's like if he were a girl and they were all men, people would identify this as creepy.
I think my funny bone was going because I did not think about him being a child. I did not think he was a child, and literally until you read that description now. So
Well,
like,
see,
they established that.
Well, see, here's the
I don't
thing. We're not exactly told how old everyone else is, I don't think.
They're very obviously
probably
adults.
young. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
I don't know. I guess for me, I don't know. I guess it sours a little bit, but like I don't know. It's like, to me, it's like he's been working as like an adult this time. They don't even drop his age in the show. Do they?
Yes.
All right. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I don't know. It took my funny bone. I thought, yes, if they're making it clear that he's like, I guess they're kind of making it clear he's a kid, but like it's more that he's just a bumbling, like he's too
cute.
like oblivious to even figure out anything.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
know.
makes him seem even more childish.
I guess. Then I'll say that, yeah, it's a weird, I'll say that it definitely detracts a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that does detract a little
don't
bit,
know.
but I think the balance of everything else in the show and just like the comedy and everything else is just so good that I'm just like, I just want to continue
I don't
watching.
know. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It tickled that funny bone in me,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Just
Like it's very
goofy.
typical.
It's very typical isekai. I'm not gonna say it's any crazy. I mean, it isn't.
isekai.
It is. I know. I know. It is.
It's very
I know.
typical
I know.
I know
isekai
it's not
style
isekai.
fantasy, but
Yeah.
it's just done really well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought
Yeah.
it was fun. What do you think?
I really disagree
What do you think,
about
Krispy?
everything. I was incredibly bored the whole time.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
The art was really bad. The music was really bad.
Was the art that bad?
It was
It was mid. Sure, I'll give it that.
it was like choppy, and the art was just ugly, in my opinion.
The character designs are not good.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
It was not.
They aren't the best.
They
No.
aren't the best.
And I was bored, and I was grossed out.
I see.
Nothing
Did you
going
know
for
he
it.
was a kid? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. You said it was in the beginning. It
Yeah,
says
when
that.
he goes to the Hello Worker place, he's like, "Hey, I'm Kurt. I'm 15 years old."
Oh, I missed that shit. Okay. Well, yeah, then that's true. That does make it kind of weird. I don't know. I thought it was a fun show. So I don't know, rating. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or?
Not really.
I just want to say again, if he were a girl, everyone
Yeah,
would
it
find
would be
this
weird.
really weird.
It would be weird. Yeah. It would be weird.
That's true.
But they don't because he's a boy for some reason. It's okay for
Well, except the
people to prey on
except
small
the trying to
children.
figure out whether he's a dickhead or not by seducing him in the tent would not have worked.
Oh, God, I
it
forgot
wouldn't have
about
worked
that.
the opposite way.
I forgot
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
Yeah.
Like, I
no,
say
forgot about that
seducing, but
shit.
she was just like in her undergarments, sleeping.
But she was like testing him.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Okay, yeah. whatever.
Look, okay, but like fair.
In light of some information, I will certainly give it a 7 out of 10. In light of some information, I will give it a 7 out of 10.
I was just like, it's kind of. I was like, that's
Before
kind
the
of
15 thing, I was going to give it an 8, actually.
Yeah,
I was gonna give it
look.
an 8.
The whole tent thing, trying to test him and see whether he was a bad guy or not. That feels very classic of the genre. No, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I mean, yeah, but
But it feels
yeah.
very classic for the genre.
It's
but
a little contrived.
It's telling
it's kinda weird.
of what is going to come, and that there will be a harem aspect.
Oh,
of
100%.
it.
yeah,
100%. I do kind of like harem aspects, though, where the guy is just, like, completely oblivious, or he's just like, what the fuck?
I don't.
No, that's funny.
Like, he does not know at all.
I
Or-
do.
I don't
When
know.
they're completely oblivious and or just don't care, it's very funny.
It's not gonna be able to hit all the marks of being, like, a, like, perfect show in depicting people in the way that, like, they should, but...
What number would we give this out of 10?
You already know my answer.
God.
I said
Oh, okay.
7.
7.
I said 7
7.
before.
Okay. I'll be a little generous and give it a 3.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, based on how you were describing it, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I would
Fair.
recommend it for people who like that kind of
fair.
zero to hero kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right, next one. Let's go. So next on our ticket is Oh
Summer
boy,
Pockets.
Summer
Summer
Pockets. Okay, Summer Pockets. Wait, Pockets?
Yeah, pockets.
Yeah, Pockets. There's multiple Pockets. Okay. Studio is Feel Dot, and they are known for Hinamatsuri, My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. Hinamatsuri's a good one. Anyway, director is Kobayashi Tomoki. They did storyboard work on lots of stuff, including Monster, the show Monster. Writer is Maeda Jun. He is part of Key. He made Clannad, Charlotte, and Angel Beats.
Okay.
So he wrote this.
I got those vibes.
Yeah. So and a part of those vibes are because of the fact that it's a visual novel. It's based on a visual novel.
Oh, it's based on a visual novel. Okay.
Yeah, which is like, I feel like if you ever like play those games, there's definitely an element where it's like lost dude who's heartbroken finds himself on an island to recoup and everything, and they're all filled with girls. So anyway, let's get the description.
Yeah, let's get the description. Okay, so Summer Pockets is set on an isolated, rural, and peaceful island on the Seto Inland Sea called Torishirojima. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, which has a population of about 2,000 people. The protagonist, Heidi Takahara, grew up in an urban setting, but after an unpleasant incident, he uses the recent death of his grandmother as an excuse to come to the island to take care of her estate sale. Once there, he gets to know 4 girls who are the focus of the story. Shiroha Naruse, who forgot her summer vacation, Ao Sorakado, who is pursuing the legends of the island, Kamome Kushima, a high-class girl looking for a pirate ship, and Tsumigi Wenders, a younger girl trying to find herself.
Okay.
The first episode gave me none of this.
Well, yeah, it's like sort of setting up, I guess, the future.
It only gave me like his name and the death of his grandmother. I didn't even really get estate sale. I just got like cleaning up her estate, not like in selling stuff, not the estate sale itself. But
Yeah, I guess like he's just cleaning it up. I think it said that it wasn't selling it because it was like it had like
They were like getting the important stuff out.
Yeah.
maybe there's
or
some of the things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that he immediately on the boat is like, my heart is what he said.
Very
It's
dramatic.
it's wounded. It's wounded.
I have one sentence to sum up the entire anime for me,
Yeah.
which is emo boy and slightly off-putting yet peaceful rural island with more female than male co-cast members. That is my entire summary
and
for
he
this.
creeps on him.
Yeah.
I like the setting. I like the concept generally of someone trying to like go to an island to sort of get away from it all.
I love his dramatic comments. They're so good.
Yeah, it was very
funny.
over the top.
It was very like over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart is wounded.
And
Like, how
the
do you
granny.
say it?
I love the granny.
The granny was like deja
The granny
vu.
who the granny who
was
appears
cute.
several times throughout the episode.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
great.
She could be like a fun like returning cast. I said Scream's visual novel before I found out it was a visual novel. The setting is cool. The premise is obviously a harem show. And I did want to mention that the white-haired girl, I forget what her name is.
Shiroha.
Shiroha. She is voiced by Konomi Kohara, who is known for Roxy from Jobless Reincarnation, or Chika from Kaguya. Love is
Okay.
I love her voice actor. She's great. Dude, what happens exactly? Like, the guy goes around the island just
A
checking
lot
it out.
of things happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen.
He orders something from the local shokudo, which doesn't end up being what he ordered, but he likes it
Happy Meal or
anyway.
something.
I looked that up. He was like a happy set, like a
Yeah.
Happy Meal. I guess he was like he was just, the joke was that it wasn't a McDonald's Happy Meal. Was that it? I feel like there was something else.
I
expect
thought
there.
he was expecting something big,
Maybe
like a big meal.
Because what he ended up getting was oyakodon,
yeah, Yakudon.
and the explanation
And it was
was
like
the explanation was the mother and child are together, so they're happy.
Yeah, that's what
They
he said.
died
Like,
together, so they're
died.
happy.
Well, okay, when I listened to it, he didn't say they died unless he like meant it that way. But it just said they were cooked together.
It's kind of dark humor there, but it's quite funny.
It was an interesting translation choice.
Yeah, the first episode's a lot of him like traveling to the island, exploring the island a bit, meeting some really weird characters.
He freaking in the middle of the night decides, I'm going to walk up to this woman by herself who's swimming, well, girl, I should say, and just like say hi.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
the most
what's up?
terrifying thing you could possibly do to someone.
What's up?
So I thought that was kind of funny and strange.
Yeah.
And then how he also goes over to a girl who's gonna fall over, and he's like, I gotta catch her from falling like a foot onto the nice grassy dirt.
Yeah, I'm just
I'm grabbing you now, and she's just like, what the fuck is happening? kind of strange there. Strange main character.
Yeah. The other guy he meets is also really, really strange.
Yeah, he's getting like sniped from a distance from this girl
With a water gun.
for being shirtless.
Yeah, with a water gun.
And then it's like it almost implies that, like, when he goes back, the other little girl is like, you're naked, but it's like he's just the
shirtless.
dude's It's like, does this island just have a different idea of what nudity is?
Well, no, the little girl is from a different city.
Yeah. She's also
that was
visiting.
the thing, is that she was the weird one for having that reaction.
Wait, the girl with
The girl in the
she's
house.
a relative from another city.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, why was she there?
For
I
the
thought she
summer.
lived
Out
there.
with the estate thing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
I thought it was a cute interaction when they were doing the rock paper paper thing.
that was
That
really
was
that
so
was so
cute.
funny.
That was
Yeah.
actually very cute. I could like totally see that happening.
That was so funny.
Yeah, I actually also love the part where he said, "Oh, go ask her," and then she immediately there was something.
Oh my
there was
God,
something,
yeah.
there was something where she
It
was
was
like,
so-
"What's that?" And he's
yeah.
like, "I don't know. Go ask her about it." And she just immediately runs to go
was
ask
so-
her
yeah.
like older.
That was so
her
little-
sister.
that's
her
so
mother,
little- yeah.
sister.
No, I don't.
Relatives.
Relative.
Relative.
Yeah.
Wait, but she's just by herself. She doesn't have her.
I guess.
I guess
Couldn't
I
explain
forget
that.
that.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute.
It's
I thought it
very
was
little
cute.
kid coded and
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, that was very sweet.
Yeah.
Besides that, I did like the vibes. I thought
Yeah.
the vibes were pretty
Fairly
good,
decent
actually.
vibes, yeah. I honestly I like the slightly off-putting like unsettling feelings that some incidents around the island do give you.
The fact that in the description they actually mentioned a trereasure hunt, I wonder if
Yeah.
there is like some element of like
true.
mystery there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't know.
and like I was going to mention this. When you said that it's was it same producer as Angel Beats,
Same writer.
same writer as Angel
Same writer
Beats.
as
I
Angel
was just
Beats,
like,
Clanad.
does
because
remind
when
me.
I watched it, I was
Charlotte.
just like, this reminds me so much of Angel
Yeah,
Beats.
same.
Yeah.
It
It
was giving
definitely has
me-
that
yeah.
vibe.
It might have been the art style too.
It might have been, yeah.
It's a little similar.
And I think, but it also reminds me
Yeah.
of Angel Beats in the fact that you know how the big twist doesn't get revealed to the end.
Yeah, Junmai is sort of like infamous for that.
Yeah.
He always does these like twists at the
But
very
but
end,
when you-
and
yeah, but-
he is a 50% like good like hit rate. I'll say.
Yeah, but like at the end of
he's
it,
kind of known for
but
that.
at the end of Angel Beats, you're just like, but if you watch it again, you get all these little clues about, this is actually what's going to happen, and you start to pick up on this is why I felt a little unsettled about this, or this is why this seemed a little strange, and I'm picking up those same vibes from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I felt a little bit, maybe not as strongly. But yeah,
Like,
there's
you
probably
know,
something mysterious in the island. I mean,
Yeah.
Junmai is always gonna throw some curveball at the end.
Like I know that like little islands and country towns and that sort of thing, they do tend to have like strange or quirky like traditions. They do tend to have them, but it's obviously been put in there for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Something I thought was weird was when he when he first got to the relative's place. And he's like, oh, damn, I'm hungry. And he, like, goes up to her and he's like, hey, is there, like, any food I could eat? And she's like, oh, well, I was going to cook for you, but that would be kind of, Like,
Yeah, I
that
actually
was
didn't know
really
that. Yeah.
weird.
I did
Yeah.
notice that. I wasn't, like, sure if I, like... Yeah, she said, like, chotto.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
was awkward
Yeah.
to do that. And I was like, huh?
what is
Like,
what's,
what-
what's
what does
wrong
that
with this?
mean?
Is it, like, weird if you cook for another guy?
I guess.
I'm just like, she seems like more like an auntie figure.
Right.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that too. She's like, sorry, we only got ramen, but I just, like, I wasn't gonna, like, I couldn't really cook for you. Like, it was
Yeah.
just left out there. And I was like,
It was
what?
very strange.
Yeah,
Huh?
part of me.
That's a good point. I forgot
part
about-
of me,
I almost
and
forgot
I
about
think
that.
that's the other thing, which I think one of the other things I twigged on was just like, that's weird.
Yeah. But he thought it was normal.
That was
he was
normal.
like, oh,
Not
yeah,
a beat
that's true.
skipped.
That's
Not
true.
a beat skipped.
Yeah.
Which,
she just
which
said, "Oh,
also
go out to
is
get
making me
food."
kind of twig like, do I have a theory here that maybe he's already dead?
Why?
Maybe he drowned and this is purgatory.
But why?
I don't know.
I mean, based
Angel
on
Beats
the
doesn't
fact
explain
that the
why.
writer is Angel Beats, dude, maybe. But to me, I mean, the characters are all acting like he's physically there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, and that was the other thing.
don't know,
Sorry, just it popped in my head, so I just want to say it real quick. The girl that was sleeping, there was a thing where he was like, how did she know it was 2:00? She just said,
Oh,
it's
right.
2.
Yeah.
And she didn't have a watch or anything.
Yeah.
And then he looked and he was like, oh, it is 2.
No,
Like, how did she know? So,
I
she
think
had a weird creature
there
with her.
was.
She did have
She
weird
did have a weird
creature.
creature with her. It was like a fox thing.
It was like, maybe it's a god of the kami of the
Maybe.
island or something.
Yeah, but I think the time thing was slightly explained because after he's just like, how does she know? The animation actually it goes into a bit of a look at like the shade on the ground and where the shade like is. Everything else.
I see.
It did go into that.
Okay,
So
maybe
I'm
she
wondering-
knows based on that.
I think she knows based on if she's done this like routine enough, she probably knows where the shadows fall on the ground at particular times.
Okay. Maybe that'd be a fun little, I guess, like
Yeah.
quirk. She's like kind of knows that.
If that's the case,
Yeah.
it kind of seemed like that. So
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a lot extra to say. I think it was fine. That's fine. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did appreciate it was directionally it was a lot more unique than a lot of the other anime this
Yes,
season.
I would agree too.
They really tried to make it artistically interesting with an obviously low budget. Which I could appreciate. I didn't like so much I don't even want to say pacing, but more like the compactness of the first episode. It was like they were trying to throw too much into the first episode.
Yeah. I
think-
could kind of agree with that.
I can agree with that, but I think they still.
They're very
I think they
colorful thinking back to it.
I think they still did a really good job with it.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, in a lot of ways, it did kind of just like immediately introduce you to a couple people real quick. That immediately then on the next episodes, you'll kind of already at least have a passing with.
True.
It's also, I don't know. Yeah, it's like he's exploring the island the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it has a lot to put out there immediately. That probably something you're gonna like from that episode.
That's fair, yeah. To try to engage people.
To kind of engage people. Thinking back to it too, I'm even like that was quite a whirlwind trip of the first episode. There's a lot that happened. Like memorable at least.
Yeah.
So that already does a lot better than most of the shows here.
Yeah, it does.
It won't be on the most forgettable.
It
No,
will
it
not.
certainly won't.
It will not be on the most forgettable. The most remembered. No.
The most remembered.
Yeah,
Ratings. What'd you guys give it?
5 out of 10.
I'd actually be more. I would say give it a 6.
I gave it a 7, actually. I gave it a 7. Even though it was kind of strange at times, it just felt like it was like, I don't know.
It was a nice.
I like the
yeah.
vibe really.
It was a
quite
nice
lot.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also kind of expect if they do go like the harem route or whatever, it's probably not going to be like in a gross way like many of these other shows.
more
They're
normal.
typically going to do it more like a romance thing or whatever. The will
Yeah.
they, won't they? And then just leave it at that. So
Yeah.
as long as they don't go in a weird direction with it, I think they'd probably be a fine watch.
Yeah. So
Do we recommend
Do
it?
we recommend
Sure.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I might, maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard maybe. Maybe.
Hard maybe. Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
All right, so
Alrighty, next show.
let's go. All right, let's see.
This one.
This one. All right. Okay. So
Can
this
a boy
one.
girl friendship survive?
No,
And
it can't.
No, it can't. Get
No,
the
it
fuck
can't.
out.
No, it can't.
Okay.
Get out of here. Yeah, so let's see. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? Studio JC staff. They've done a crap ton of stuff. Toradora, Saikike, Bakuman, Railgun, Shokugeki no Soma, or Food Wars, and Danmachi for those people out there. The Can I Get a Girlfriend in a Dungeon?
Oh,
show.
that one.
All right, director Suzuki Yohei, known for a lot of storyboard roles, and the writer is Nana.
Okay.
Nana. And I don't have any notable works that I can see from them. So, all right, so getting right into it. What's the blurb?
A boy and a girl pledge lifelong friendship in a small town junior high school. The relationship between the two, who are destined to share a common dream, has passed 2 years without any particular development. Himari Inuzuka, a bubbly girl who has yet to find her first love, and Yu Natsume, a plant-loving boy who enjoys flowers, still spend their days peacefully as best friends in the gardening club in the second year of high school. If you can't get married, I have to take responsibility. I'm having trouble now because Himari said that. Your brother began calling me my brother-in-law. However, when Yu reunites with his first crush, the gears of their relationship suddenly go out of sync. Will Himari be able to escape her ideal friend now that she has found love? Oh, she found love. Oh,
That was weirdly confusing.
I'm confused by that sentence.
Okay, so maybe
there
I
were
should
two
just describe
quotes
it.
in there.
There were two. That was very stupid.
Yeah.
How they did that. Okay, so pretty much, just very basically, we have essentially a guy who likes making jewelry, handcrafted from like actual flowers and
it's
plants.
handcrafted from dried flowers and resin.
Yeah, so he puts dried flowers, puts them in resin, and tries to make a little thing out of it.
Either dried or not dried. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah.
And his parents essentially say, that's dumb.
He used live flowers.
You should do something that's legit. And he says, oh no, well, and they said, okay, well, if you can sell a bunch of this stuff, 100, then maybe we'll let you do that kind of thing. So he starts doing that, and he's discovered by a girl who I guess finds out his thing, like he's doing these things, and she decides, hell yeah, I'm gonna help you with this, meet your goal. And I guess she falls in love. He is attracted to her, but he's like, I will never have a chance with this woman in my life. So then he just, I guess, resolves that he can't. That she doesn't like him.
Yeah,
and that he then just moves on, being like, okay, well then that's never gonna happen. So I'm going to ignore everything else.
I feel like his attitude towards her is kind of refreshing in the fact that he's just like, yeah, we're just friends. That's it.
Yeah,
it's
a weird vibe.
Really weird.
It's a really weird vibe.
I will say I really like their dynamic.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I like it.
They would be a cute couple, but he has these weird moments where he's like, ugh, cute girls. They must think, oh, I'm so cute.
yeah, that's weird. He's got this
he
weird.
Thinks this every time.
It's
the
like he
internal
thinks.
monologue is so funny.
Well, he has like really, really bad self-esteem where he's just like, literally every woman is trying to get away from me as much as possible. But like it's this weird image he has in his head of where these girls
back
are.
into the like recluse person viewing like popular people as the enemy
as
kind
the
of thing.
But then it's like, he has kind of like a weird cynical vibe going, or like side to him. I do want to mention initially that like there is this kind of funny bit, a little history on my backstory a bit.
Oh, Kringle
so when I was in high school, I had a friend that was just like this as a girl, for me, like with me, I guess.
Oh, I see.
But it was funny because it was like, I feel like that was very clearly a friendship. Thinking back, maybe it was different. I didn't feel about her that way, kind of thing. So like we were just friends, but like I thought it was like kind of like weird. It was an out of body experience for a moment watching this, because like I mean I guess the whole fact that she's like all over him, was like very. I guess to me, like I guess initially someone might be like, oh yeah, that would be like really weird, but I feel like that was kind of common for at least. I guess in my experience, I don't know. So to me, I guess it gave me a lot of like nostalgia of that.
Look, I feel like
I guess it could be pretty clear that they would just stay friends, or that like he would think that that's a friendship thing, and that maybe she was looking into. I don't know. It made me have a lot of thoughts.
I think that sort of like friendship, skinship kind of thing is. I think it's a really healthy thing to actually aim for between men and women, because it's like. Yeah,
but it's very taboo in Japan once they get to that age.
In Japan, and I think
once they get that old,
it can be. Well, it's tricky, I guess. I don't know. I guess it could be tricky.
I think it could be tricky to some extent, but I'm just like, just communicate.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
All you need to do is communicate.
Yeah, you can just communicate.
Because it's just like being able to hug someone without thinking, oh, they think I'm hot, or they want to get with me, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that would be so healthy in a relationship, in a friendship.
That's true.
It would be so healthy.
I mean, I think it's something where like in a lot of ways, like it is kind of a positive thing to like see them as like a friendship kind of thing. She is in a very unhealthy mindset where she's like I'm okay if he like falls in love with another woman, but I cannot leave his life. On one end, you could think, okay, well, you would want, hopefully, that his partner is going to be understanding that, like, he can be in a friendship with another woman, and that's fine. But there is this element where, like, she would maybe maintain the same closeness, which I feel like if I'm thinking realistically, that probably would cause problems.
I think that would be kind of awkward.
I think that's sort of that's kind of inevitable. I mean, I feel like that would just become an issue eventually.
Right.
That she, I think, is by sort of like rationalizing in her head that she's like, oh, I could just stay his friend forever. It's like if he gets a girlfriend or something, that conversation will eventually come up. You will
Yeah.
not probably be able to be with him forever in the same capacity as you have been.
Yeah, you'd have to she'd have to not like be all over him so much.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact that it's like, well, she does love him. She should just tell him.
Yeah.
I think
then it's
I think it's more because
she's
she doesn't
scared.
realize it.
Yeah, or I guess she doesn't realize that he... I will admit, though, this girl's making it obvious. I'll marry you if you don't find
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I know.
Come on, dude.
No,
Pick
that's
up
pretty
something.
obvious.
I don't know. I guess that was the thing. It was just like, it's just people kind of being silly, or not silly, but like being stupid to like have this misunderstanding and just never want to talk about it. And that's the show.
And I
Nobody
think
talks or
it's
communicates.
not like uncomfortably kind of just like fucking talk. It's not that kind of vibe. It's just like, okay, this is just what's happening kind of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the episode too, she was like, "I think I do like him." Like it
Yeah,
was very
she-
clear
yeah.
she didn't know.
Well, she realized also she's like actually like, well, not jealous, but like she'd
Yeah.
be like, this is a rivalry
Yeah.
with this other girl.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair. I think it's fair that like she didn't know, and then it's like, well, now he likes this girl, and it's like, I can't say anything now because it's like that's kind of unfair to him.
Yeah.
I just want to say I drew a little doodle where I said harem show, got it, and then I showed me falling asleep at my desk with a thumbs up.
That was beautiful.
Just drooling on the desk. Yeah, I mean, ultimately though, it wasn't a very interesting show for me to watch. It was pretty boring.
It's very pretty.
Look, I think it was a surprisingly
It
good
was
watch for
kinda
the
pretty.
title.
I liked her design.
Yeah.
I liked her design.
Her design is really cool. Being a little crafty myself, I did like the crafting aspects of it. It was really cute.
Yeah,
And like just showing that sort of thing, even if it was just a kind of side interest point, it was kind of interesting.
yeah.
In terms of the show itself, I mean, you guys are kind of right. It's a little bit boring, but it's a surprisingly good watch for the title because you expect it to be this rom-com with heavy ecchi elements kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
And then like I see that
Yeah, I guess I can.
like seriously, the title, can a boy-girl friendship survive?
No, it can't.
And
It's just, you have to add that every
no,
time.
No, it can't.
Okay.
No, it can't. So then you,
I guess, yeah,
I
I guess I could
immediately
see
go,
that,
right, okay, so we're looking at like heavy fan service, all like types of, they accidentally trip over and then fall down
I
to the
see.
ground
Now, now I
together
see
and that
exactly
sort of
what
thing.
you mean.
So
Yeah,
that's what I went into
You were
this
just
thing.
surprised in
I
that.
went into it thinking, oh god, this is going to be a slog.
go.
And then I'm surprised with a really nice rom-com with a great friendship / people realizing they actually like each other between the main characters. Plus, like, great character designs. A little bit over the top with the fan service, especially for
What was
Himari.
Oh my god,
What was
that
the
was so
fan? Wait,
stupid.
what was the fan service?
The
Himari
boob grab.
grabbed her friend's boobs.
Wait, what the fuck? I'm like, what? When did
They
that
were
happen?
in the lab room.
Yeah. Natsuki
and
was
he
just
had
preserving
fixed-
flowers.
Yeah.
One of them came in and then he was fixing his crush's bracelet. And then it was just like, it was like,
I forgot.
it was
I don't
like
even know.
gratuitous boob grab.
She was like, Dion, the other girl, was like, I can't forgive you for what you did on the first gym class.
Yeah.
Wait.
And
what
then
the fuck?
and then Himari's like, but they're so big. It's like I might never have a chance to grab.
Oh, you're talking about the blue hair girl grab.
Yeah,
the other
yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, now I remember that. Okay.
Oh, you were
yeah.
thinking the guy did it?
Yeah, I was like,
No!
what the fuck?
I
I don't
see.
remember that at
No,
all. I'm
no,
like, what
no.
happened? Also, I did forget. I forgot that she also grabbed her boobs.
okay.
I forgot about that too. I did remember that apparently the guy was so into working, they braided his hair.
They did.
That was
I'm like-
cute.
They braided
I'm like,
his
how the
hair
fuck
and put it
would
up in
you-
little tufts and that sort of thing. That's a little unrealistic.
That
but
took
it
me
is-
out of it. I was like,
that's a little
stupid.
unrealistic, but it is very funny.
It's whatever.
It's
Though. Yeah,
cute.
it's a tight little
It's
gag.
cute.
I have to say when we first started this project, Kringle made a list of all the anime that we were going to watch and sent it to our group chat. And so when I got to this one, it was, can a boy-girl friendship survive? No, it can't. I thought he had added that.
No, it can't. Wait, that's in the title.
It is in the title.
Oh shit! No, it can't.
I thought you had added that. Just like
No, it can't.
We're not friends anymore.
Rock on. Wait, you guys are guys, right?
Oh shit. But another thing is, this show reminded me. I was talking to my advisor in college, and he was talking about how when he studied here in Japan, I think for either undergraduate or postgrad, I can't remember, but he like went to the school cafeteria the first time and he was shocked because it was like all tables of guys, tables of girls, tables of guys, tables of girls. Like there was no intermingling between different genders. And he's like, what is happening here?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, that's something Japan really needs.
I know.
More girlfriends, girl-boyfriend relationships.
girlfriends.
More girlfriends.
Girlfriends.
Yes, they do. They need more girlfriends out in Japan.
Yeah.
They need more boy and girl friendships and whatnot. I think that's a big,
and like,
very important part of like having a more nuanced perspective on the world outside of your own gender.
Yeah.
It's definitely
important.
something I notice in like my everyday life too. It's like the way my male coworkers interact with me versus the other male coworkers.
I think it depends. It
yeah.
depends on them, but yeah, I do feel that.
Yeah. Just weird.
It is weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Very, very obsessed with that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, rating.
Ratings.
I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Same.
Yeah. 4 out
I
of
give
10.
it a 5.
Okay.
I just particularly liked the main characters, like their relationship with each other. It was just really nice and wholesome. If a little fan servicey, but it was still like kind of nice. Granted, like Yu's inner monologue was a little bit like, what the fuck?
Oh my god, yeah.
I didn't like him at all.
No.
He was the worst part of the show, honestly.
I like his hobby and I like the girls.
Yeah.
That's it. Just take him out of it.
Well, I guess the
The
main
girl should date
Yes.
and steal his
Well, I guess
hobby.
I like the main girl, but the other girl was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
boring.
Abrasive, whatever.
Look.
Rough.
Yeah, I just really like the main girl, actually.
The
I really
main
like
girl.
T-Body.
I guess
Yeah.
that 4 points was just for her.
Yeah.
Will we recommend this? I wouldn't.
I would if I would to a person who likes romantic comedies.
I might if someone
Still
likes
very
romance.
mid, but
yeah.
I mean that's fair. That's fair. I think if you like those, you might get a nice kick out of it. All right. Well, next, let's see what we got next on the docket.
Ooh, so
Aha. Okay, this one.
The fat pig one. Come here, piggy.
Oh my god. No.
Come on, babe. All right. So
What's the English name for this?
Reincarnated as a neglected noble, raising my baby brother with memories from my past life.
Dear God.
So if it's not obvious, this is another isekai.
Yep.
But
yep.
it's a kid's isekai.
Shortened to Shidol Heel. All right. I'm the white pig nobleman. But with the memories of my previous life, I raised my little. That was like, I guess, another title. All right, Studio Comet. They're known for doing Salad Bowl of Eccentrics. They're an old studio, and they also did School Rumble and Initial D. So some old 90s shows. Director is Sato Masafumi, who also directed Salad Bowl of Eccentrics, which was, I think, like last year or so. And the writer is Yashiro, who had no other really notable works, I noticed. Okay, so what's the blurb?
In a world
Where to blurb
where
at?
Western and Asian cultures mix together, and the only son of Count Kikunoi from the Kiryu Empire is Ageha. His life was already over at the age of 5. He, who was born in a corner of the country, has 0 allies or useful skills, in addition to being overweight. What's more, it seems that his brother Regulus, who suddenly appeared in his life and was presented for the Count as his brother, will kill him in the future for his right to succeed.
Oh.
His
news.
only weapons are the abilities of cooking and sewing that he suddenly acquired along with the memories of his previous Japanese life. In the midst of all this, Ageha ends up raising his younger brother, but my brother is super cute. And before he knows it, he becomes a full-blown doting older brother, making handmade educational toys for his cute little brother and delicious chawan mushi, steamed egg custard. With the help of his previous life skills and my power as a housekeeper.
His power, I think.
His power as a housekeeper.
Yeah, translate.
He's able to improve the rough life of the people living in his territory. A fantasy of 2 young brothers managing their territory, where a single step gets even the gods involved in changing their country.
Okay.
That was very long.
That was really long.
Yeah.
About as
Not in
long
the
as I would
first
expect
episode.
from a title that long. So, yeah, what do you guys think about this one?
It was really cute.
I think it was cute.
That
Yeah.
was cute.
The fat
Yeah.
phobia side.
It was not so
Phobia
cute.
side, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
I was shocked. Wanuka does the opening.
Oh,
Wanuka
I don't know who that is.
he writes very racy songs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Interesting. Let me see. What did I put this as? Bro loves his brother. Okay, cool. So I guess like with this show, it was very boring. I was falling asleep. I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay. I liked that he in his past life was actually a pretty decent person.
Yeah.
And like had friends and other things. And he immediately goes, "Hey, wait a second. These people aren't doing this because they love me. They're just working this job. So like, let me actually like go out of my way to get to know them and like help them out and learn from them." And that was probably the most positive thing from the show, is that it was just giving you a nice little lesson and being like, well, if you get to know people and you put yourself out there, people will gravitate to you. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good message for a kid's show.
Is it a kid show?
Yeah, they have the disclaimer at the beginning about not
saw
sitting
that.
They
too
do.
close to the TV.
I guess it's strange to me when I think of an isekai being a kid show.
Exactly, yeah. It's,
Which I think
it's
is
very
maybe
different.
it's just because it's just so counter to what I think of.
He died at Comiketeers.
He did.
He died coming back
After
from Comic.
He died coming back from
All right, we may have to think of the
Or
logistics for when we go to Comic Con.
Yeah. We have
It
to
might,
think
but
about
it might be a
this.
bit more life-threatening than we think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little bit more life threatening. I'm gonna
better
have to
watch
get
out.
I'm gonna have to get our producer involved, make sure that we're getting like nice cool drinks all the time.
True.
I've been seeing those like cool fan things they got.
Yeah.
But I heard it might be a little hot this summer, so we're not gonna go this summer. We're gonna go.
Yeah, we're gonna
Next summer. Next summer?
Maybe next summer.
maybe winter,
Winter's
maybe
too
cold.
next
Winter?
summer, maybe next winter.
But winter's really cold, though.
Yeah, it is cold. It's
pretty cold.
It's pretty cold.
We'll think about it later.
Nah, we'll think about it.
think about
let's
it.
just put that.
We'll get there one day.
Yeah.
we'll get there one day.
One day.
Yep.
One day.
No. 100%. We'll be there.
Anyway.
Or square.
Yeah.
So that, I think, was also a very important takeaway.
Yeah, it was.
So thank you for bringing that up.
was.
Outside of that, though, I said it was a pretty dog shit title, but
Yeah. It was
I don't
pretty,
know.
It was pretty like ugly. Like the
oh
the-
yeah, I didn't like that.
What I hated, there was a scene where like the kid who's the main character was like looking at somebody else and they were like both facing each other and it's like his head was gigantic. It was bigger than the other adult's head. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's like
like-
a weird, strange, fat child.
well, no. It's not that. It's like anime tend to do this, that they like try to make kids look too chubby, but
Oh.
then they make them look like wider than real people.
Yeah, true. Like their heads are huge, like way too big.
It's like uncanny
It is kinda
valley
uncanny.
territory.
Yeah, because all their servants look normally proportioned, and
Yeah.
then he is like this monster child, like this fucking monster. Yeah, and I'm very happy the first episode did not include a lot of like the little brother, because like that would not have been for me. Like him like doting over. I feel like I would have been like so bored.
I kind of feel like
I would have been
the
so
first
bored.
episode
Goo
in
goo
terms
gaga.
yeah.
Sounds like something a little youngest sibling would say.
Yeah, fucking stupid
does.
kids.
Yeah.
They're out of that
yeah.
shit.
Look, I kind of liked it. It's a casual fun watch. Like you're not going to get anything really deep out of it, but it's kind of fun. It does, include the classic overpowered protagonist.
In
he's,
sewing
he's OP,
and cleaning
He's OP
and
at
cooking.
sewing, cooking, and cleaning. And granted, that's a little oddity in itself. Like if you look at stereotypical gender.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I appreciate that.
it is. It's
Yeah,
quite. It's quite.
kind of
it's quite
subverting
cool.
some of that. It's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
And I also find it kind of interesting that he's reborn after dying of heat stroke and sleep deprivation instead of the company grind.
Yeah, that feels like
Yeah.
a kind of a departure. If anything, he died doing what he loved.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I do think he was like, it was kind of funny how he's like, oh, that was kind of a stupid way to go.
Yeah.
that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it also
yeah.
it also like I think they were trying to make a point that like he was so passionate about it he didn't even
yeah.
realize.
Yeah, he's a very passionate person. And he was always doing it for other people.
That's true. Yeah.
So he was a kind person too.
I really loved like the focus on him like only having like quote unquote feminine
Yeah, no, that was really nice.
Yeah.
and the fact that that's what makes him like powerful is the fact that he like embraces his feminine side. and is very kind and caring to other people.
Well, it's funny because I would almost say the contrast the show is going for is that I think the contrast they're going for is that he's a noble that has those skills. Like, that's the strange thing, is that he's a noble with those things.
That is true.
Whereas the elf kind of mentions, he's like, yeah, as a noble, these stats make no sense. But like, if he was probably like a normal like work hand, then it would have probably been expected maybe as him as a dude anyway.
But I think
you bring up a good point. Yeah, still is traditionally women things.
He definitely
it's just not brought up as a thing that he's a guy. That's strange.
It was though.
Yeah.
He did mention that.
It was weird that he was
like
a guy.
he was like, it's a little weird that these are the things I like, but it's what I like, so that's how I live my life.
That's right. Someone said he'd be a good wife. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So they kind of show that the world would obviously have a counter to like I don't know.
Yeah, I think
these expectations of what a role of a man should be.
Even in his new world, like so he's got what, sewing, cooking, and cleaning, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, even as an ordinary person, like not from nobility in this new world, as a guy, he probably wouldn't have all three stats. Probably maybe one of them, but not all three. I don't think.
Yeah. Of course, we just got to mention the fact that there are literal stats that determine your freaking like innate talent is kind of like was just, that threw me for a loop when they were like, let me bring up your stats real quick. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think
let me check your character sheet.
Yeah, your elf's so low, dude.
Look, I think it's a really interesting thing, which like it's definitely overused in isekais, but I think it's really funny. Like, it's just such a good little thing to have in it.
It definitely threw me. Being
like, so casually.
All right, shit. And he just grew new skills for magic and all that shit. Because he sang a really bad, a really awful song that I guess a flower goddess liked.
Kid. Yeah. No, the harvest goddess.
The harvest, fertility goddess, all that stuff. Yeah. She was like, that's dope. Just keep singing that literal same song over and over again. And he was blessed. There was something like creepy. She was like, "Do you want to go up to heaven?"
Yeah, what was up with that?
They never mentioned
it. That was really funny.
So she's like, "Oh yeah, the heaven's up there with all the gods." He's like, "Oh wow, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, do you want to go?"
Was like,
and the tutor's like, "I must come out and say something." And then the conversation shifts to just like, "Can you teach him other songs?"
They don't mention it.
And like, it's like, why did you come out to stop him from getting taken to heaven? Was he gonna die?
No, I think that's really funny though. If he was actually going to die in that situation, it's probably a very interesting take on the difference between how gods view things and how humans view things.
Yeah, and I think that could be a fun like little thing. Maybe they mention it would be kind of nice, but
maybe explain
but
that.
It was just like, oh no,
that was really
what
weird.
is she gonna do? And he's like, no, please don't.
Yeah. I think it was just really funny.
I must intercede. I mean, it was funny.
It was
funny, but it was also like, I was like, what is that? What is going on?
Right.
What are the stakes of what you just heard?
Exactly, when the tutor came out and was like, I need to say something, I was like, oh, like that was serious.
There's a danger.
That was
actually
danger serious. And then they never addressed it again. I just kind of forgot about it.
Instead he's kind of like just thrown in an awkward situation of like having to like, please forgive me for coming out here to begin with. And then it just leads to like, oh, can you teach him more songs? And he's like, yes, I guess I will. I'm not going to mention that you tried to murder this kid. Yeah. Or maybe murder.
Well,
maybe.
She's a goddess. You can't really...
If someone says they're going to bring you to heaven...
I mean, you can't like argue with her. All you can do is like beg her not to change her mind.
Yeah, maybe that was it. He just wanted to change the topic.
Yeah, and I think that was just. I think it's a really interesting perspective shift on gods versus humans, and this really random elf tutor who's really old apparently. Mm-hmm. Like you get the impression that he's a lot older. Mm-hmm. No, I actually really liked that because it was like. I think the whole teaching new songs and stuff was also kind of. It's a very nice little. Subtle kind of, okay, how can we shift this conversation to not take him to heaven?
Yeah.
I guess on another kind of thing that I'm thinking of was I just liked how it humanized the staff at his place. I like that. I always love when they like are just like, hey, the people that are in the background are people.
Exactly.
These are real people that have like real heart, like needs and desires. Also, the elf dude just straight up says he's like, yeah, that's right. Your family's like part of the corrupt aristocracy. I was like, that's pretty great. I kind of like that.
Going on.
So it's like kind of nice that he's like at least I guess knows the situation he's been born
radicalize the children,
which I will admit would be fun if they had a spin to be like if they had a spin to be like, oh, that's your teacher's perspective. Like, you don't actually know that you're just getting told this by some guy.
Yeah.
Maybe the elf dude is like, yeah, the humans have fucked
Yeah,
us
but
up.
I think
I don't know.
on
There could have been some interesting bit
On
there.
the other hand, this is kind of a kids show, so we're not really expected to look too much into that, I feel.
As I realize, it's a kid's show. Yeah, I mean, I think that episode, and again, I guess it's gonna go full into I want to just like spoil my younger brother. That sounds incredibly boring to me.
I think for me, judging on how it's going, I think it starts off really strong, and then because of the focus on his younger brother, I'd probably drop it.
Yeah, I mean, I
think it's really sweet,
It
but
is really
it's not
sweet.
something I would like
No.
keep up with.
I wouldn't keep up with it either. I
It's
guess
kind of like for me, it's like Spy Family. Like it's sweet for a few episodes, and I'm over it.
yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I guess that's just weird with my score because I actually gave it a 7 out of 10, but I didn't
wow.
I didn't mean it really like as something I would continue with. I just meant like it
It's
was
good
like
it's
pretty
good for what it
well
is.
put together.
Yeah.
I guess it is kind of ugly though.
It is ugly.
It's very very garish all throughout.
I would give it a 5 because it's not
Yeah, I don't really
bad.
know why I'm giving it a 7. I mean,
I
my
give it a
scores are all over the
6.
place.
It was very sweet and refreshing.
Yeah.
I think in my true enjoyment factor, I would give it a 5. I think it deserves probably a 6. I just didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I do want to like say one more time. I really hated the fat phobia though. That was really weird and
that was
unnecessary.
really- that was
Yeah,
not-
that
It's like so unnecessary to the whole story. Like why?
It is really unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely painting its way into like being like
Anti.
I don't know. It's like he's an aristocrat.
Well, he's literally
I guess I
he's
think
literally his mascot is the white pig because he's fat.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
I mean, I was looking at it. I mean, it is like it's like a weird line that's used that can be used in a racist way too for like white people.
But he's not white. He's
Well, I know.
in
No.
this-
Well,
in-
white. Well, sometimes it's white. Where they use it for like people who aren't in the sun very often. So like aristocrats.
I see. Oh, that makes sense.
So it's kind of it can be used for a lot of different contexts or whatever.
I see.
It's not particularly specifically racist in the white actually being white, but it's like it can be used in that way.
I see.
I think the idea of it was they're trying to say that like, okay, he's like an aristocrat. So there's this part of me where it's like I think they wanted to take a sort of harmful stereotype and then I guess make it this thing where it's like, well, he's not actually like that, or he's not what the stereotype would make it out to be, which is that he's like this shitty person or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Would
let's,
we recommend it?
Oh, would we recommend it? Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, I don't know how it is with the brother, which I feel like is really boring.
Yeah.
So I honestly wouldn't even recommend it. I don't think you're missing much.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. This
think
is
it
one I
mentions-
rated higher than other ones that I said I would recommend, but I don't know if I would recommend
Yeah,
this one.
I think it's because it's hard to find it. Like, it's more of a like child audience
Yeah,
that you'd be
yeah.
recommending it for. So it's just like,
But then it's like I wouldn't recommend this to children because of the fat phobia.
yeah, that is true. So, all in all, it's kind of good. But would you recommend it? Probably not.
Yeah.
I feel like as a kid, this would be boring.
I feel like
very boring.
There's a few concepts in it where it's just like it would not fly well with little kids because
Not
they'd just
engaging
be like, I don't
enough.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next one. And we only got 15 more to go. Hey, it's
Mono.
Mono. Mono.
Yeah.
All right, Mono is number, what was it?
20.
Oh, 20. Here, it just found it. Cool. All right, so Mono, Studio Soigne, Soigne. They're a new studio as of
Soin.
they're a new studio as of June 2023. This is their first work. Director. Oh, I just put 10 episode directors. But the writer is Afro, who has written Yudu Camp,
Oh.
or Laid Back Camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's
You
get the
get
bird
you.
blurb.
Yeah, the blurb. So the photography club is in danger of shutting down, and the cinema club too. Fret not, for they shall merge and become Cinephoto Club.
Oh, spoilers.
Now, club members Satsuki,
flare
An,
that's
and Sakurako, again Sakurako this season, are asked to be the main characters for a manga artist Haruno's latest work that's centered around action cameras. The girls head out to capture the lovely sights of Japan, experimenting with gadgets beyond photography and film equipment, and of course, chomping on the local delicacies along the way. Very short and sweet blurb for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cute show. Love
Yes.
this show.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Really great. I think I just love, you totally can see it's like the same author as Yudu Camp, where it's just like these girls kind of getting into just this separate hobby and just kind of running with it in a very like laid back, chill way. Not like super like all in. I gotta do like everything crazy and right. I gotta go on Reddit and get the perfect stats and buy the most expensive equipment.
Yeah.
They're just getting out there and doing it. And I like that.
It's even like very obvious in the first episode. They literally buy a camera which they can afford.
Yeah.
Which is really like it's really cool because it's just like, okay, well, you don't have to be like buying millions of dollars worth of stuff, which is nice. Like,
Well, and even just like
relaxed.
they started for like a year just using their smartphones.
Just
Yeah.
using their smartphones of taking pictures of one person in particular. I guess they start. Yeah, they take pictures of that girl. Or
You
well,
need
one,
them
of
used.
one of them. Who was it?
one.
Sakurako did.
No, they called each other by their last names.
Yeah,
Actually,
they did.
it was Amamiya
Amamiya. Okay.
who was taking pictures of her senpai,
And
and then
then-
Kiriyama was taking pictures of
her.
Amamiya.
So,
taking
so it's
So
like
it's
it's pretty goofy
It's
start.
like a
yeah.
comedic stalkery like weird thing going on here, but it's very funny.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, and it's like they kind of find themselves like needing new inspiration, and so they decided to do fun like it's interesting too because it's like fun camera, like it's not just them taking pictures. It's like they want to like actually like take like I don't know time lapse videos or like funny goofy wide angle views,
Yeah, with
or
the
like
cat.
put one on a cat. Yeah, put on a cat.
The cat runs away.
Cat fucked
Cat,
it up.
yeah, cat like fights people and stuff, or fights
Fights
other
cats.
cats.
Yeah.
Which I've seen those videos and I immediately was like, oh yeah, I've totally seen that stuff where like you see the cats like running in those videos and like yeah, they're always getting in fights. There's so much drama in the cat
Yeah.
world, at least outdoor cats.
Yeah.
But
I think that was really funny
yeah.
and like really funny, realistic kind
Yeah.
of just this little thing which
Yeah.
they put in for it, which is good.
I love the who's the manga author again?
Haruno, I think. Yeah, Haruno.
She was very silly.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
like
she was
forgetting to
cute.
ship
I
their
love how like
camera
yeah.
and everything.
When I first saw her, I was just like, "How old is this chick?"
Yeah, I thought she was a granny, and I'm like, they're
With her
making her
white
like
hair.
they're making her like really young looking, and there's like, oh no, she's just actually like,
She's just young.
She just
but
has white
yeah,
hair, I guess.
Just white hair, I guess. Yeah. No, it's really cool how they've got like that interwoven like media stuff going on as well. Like you got photos, you've got her writing the manga, which doesn't really take center. The thing which takes center is more her horrible driving skills.
Yeah, like I love that. Like kind
That's
of,
so
it was
funny.
so silly. Like
And
going up,
the
like
girls
going
are
up
just
the
like-
mountain,
yeah,
like
the
getting
girls
lost.
are just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, we have to prepare for the drive back."
Yeah, it's just like very cozy show.
It is.
The shop is very cozy.
It is,
It
yeah.
is very
that
cozy.
shop.
I loved the friend Kiriyama, the girl with the pigtails. She was so
Yeah,
freaking
she was
funny.
fun. She
and
was
then,
fun.
And then when they go back to the shop and she's like going for those chips
Yeah, the
that she
chips.
likes, and the kids are like, oh, "It's the chip ghost!" And she's like, "I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, she's super fun. I love how they animated her too. She was always like jumping around and
I know,
bouncing and
yeah.
doing these like silly like things in the background. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I
cute show.
I also
Yeah.
like I've got it in notes here is Haruno, the manga artist. She actually teaches them like inadvertently it seems more about photography itself because
yeah.
because of what she knows because she's just like, oh, you can do this to do this and everything else. Where it's not even her specialty.
Yeah.
She just knows a bit about it, so she's just like just tells the girls and
Yeah.
it's just all very.
That was her
casual.
camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. It's one of these things too, where it's like, well, she did have the camera originally, so
Yeah.
maybe there's
I
some
wonder
element
if
there.
she used to use it for her manga.
Yeah, maybe she
That
used
is
to
a good
use it for
point.
her manga or something. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's something more to find out. I mean, this isn't exactly going to be a story you're going to want like heavy mystery and find that out. It's probably just going to be like, I don't know. I bought it one day. Like,
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
for fun.
I didn't need it anymore. I need the money for
Yeah.
gas or something.
Yeah. I need the money for more cat four panels.
Yeah. I do want to mention that that girl took 30,000 pictures of her senpai.
That's a lot of pictures
30,000
That's
pictures.
crazy.
in a year. That's a ton of photos per day.
That's like
A
that's like a
hundred.
ridiculous amount. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like 100. That's 100 plus photos
Oh
a
my
day.
god. Oh.
That's
dear God.
insane.
Even in one day, that's crazy.
Can
If
you
that was
Every day.
centralized in like
Storage
one
space
day.
that
I mean, shit. This sounds like when like there were like 6 gigabyte iPods, or I'm like 30,000 pictures. That's a lot of fucking pictures.
Granted,
She took.
if some of the pictures were like the shutter function where you just hold
True.
down the button and it's like kind of thing, that's
I
like 6 or
see.
7 right there.
I think it's funny that like in the short time that she did take pictures that weren't her senpai, was like one that won her the competition.
Yeah.
But no, it was a picture of her senpai.
It was a picture.
Oh,
of
was it a
Senpai
picture of it?
Love,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought it was just some sakura blossom tree.
It was her
Oh.
senpai's like hair blowing in the wind.
It was.
Oh shit. Okay, I missed that then. Okay, that's cool though. Then there you go. She needed 30,000, but she got there. She got a really good shot. Cozy vibes, I said here. There's not really a lot to talk about though.
No, it's just
kind of just what
cozy,
it is.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just is what it is. Nothing controversial.
Okay.
Nothing.
How would we rate it?
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6.5. I think 6.5.
I would probably be there with you guys. Oh yeah, I said 7 and could be an 8
Yeah.
with time. I think it could maybe get better. I don't know. We'll see.
I generally prefer slightly more exciting anime, but it's really well done.
That's the funny thing with Yuta Camp. I have seen maybe 5 episodes of that show.
I've seen a
total.
lot of Yudokan. Yudokan.
I've seen about 5 episodes of that show, and I have very like good positive like view of that show, and I would like to probably go back and
You
watch
have
more.
You Do Camp merch around here.
I do have Yuta Camp merch because it's just so chill. It's actually not out anymore, but
Yeah.
I need to get it. But it's just so chill. I just love the vibe, and I think this vibe of the show is kind of captured.
Yeah, it's really nice and chill.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those shows that it's like I have to be in a certain mood to watch, but once I am, I'll just sit through all the episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
It sounds a little bit maybe flippant, but it would be kind of fun to just have in the background. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I do have to kind of be in a certain mood for it, but
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. I
Yes,
think
Oh,
we
yeah,
would.
definitely
sure.
recommend it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. Next,
We only got 14 to go, guys. We're getting there.
we're getting there.
Oh,
Next is
no. All right, we have Vigilante, My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Vigilante, what do you say?
Vigilantes.
Lanty.
Vigilante,
Ants,
yeah.
it's ants.
Vigilantes. They're aunties.
Do you say
They're-
vigilantes?
I feel like I switch between both. I
It's
say
vigilante.
vigilante,
Vigilante.
I think vigilante, I think I've heard someone say that before. Maybe I'm just
I
fucked in
wonder
the
if it's a
head.
specific
Maybe I'm just
pronunciation.
fucked in the head.
I wonder if it's a specific pronunciation.
Well,
for,
when
like, a
they say
specific
it, they
area.
say
Who says it?
vigilante.
Oh,
Vigilante.
well, yeah, but they're
Vigilante,
saying- they're
yeah.
saying
So that's where you get the on from.
Oh.
Probably, possibly, yeah.
All right, well, let me pull this up real quick.
Are you okay?
I just remembered the opening.
No. Oh, wait.
It's a I guess good.
Oh, it was,
It's a shock.
It was 21, so it's actually right after Mono. All right, Studio Bones. They've done everything.
Yep. They do My Hero
If,
Academia.
if you don't know, yeah, they do. They unfortunately have been mired in My Hero Academia for a long time. Please free Studio Bones from the responsibility
More
of My Hero.
importantly, they did Mob Psycho.
They did Mom Psycho. They're probably their best work, maybe with or behind FMA Brotherhood. But
True.
Mom Psycho is like, I love that show so
That's
much.
such a good show.
Anyways, director is Suzuki Kenichi. He's known for Hataraku Saibo, Cells at Work. And he was he was the JoJo episode director for part 6. So he did a good amount of episodes of JoJo part 6. And the writer is Horikoshi Kohei, who didn't have any real notable works, which seems kind of weird.
Wait.
I feel like there would be more.
Horikoshi.
Wait, yeah, a
Horikoshi.
second. Oh, duh.
My Hero.
I'm stupid. Yeah. It's just him. It's just the
It's
guy.
just
It's him.
It's just the guy who made My Hero.
Wait. He's the what?
He's the creator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the creator.
It's the creator of My Hero.
I don't know why I had a blank there for a second. I just forget that was him.
He's
and
just
I was
a
about
nobody.
To, I was
He's a
about to say
nobody.
he's just
Yeah.
nobody. He's
Nobody's
fucking
ever
nobody,
heard of
dude.
this
It's just
Yeah,
dude.
who the fuck is
Yeah,
this
he's
guy?
just this random
Who is
guy
this
writing
dude?
My Hero
Well,
fanfic.
Well, I think it's because he's just writing My Hero fanfic. What the fuck? I guess I was confused because when I wrote it here, typically I put works that they're known for, but I think he is just known for My Hero. That's it. Anyway,
The Blur.
that was a long
Yeah.
intro of that. So let's
That's
go.
okay.
Let's get into
Yeah.
Oh.
the blurb.
The Blur.
Okay, so description. Living in a superhuman society, it is hard to feel special. Even more so when the spotlight only shines on professional heroes, those legally authorized to use their special powers, known as quirks, in public for the greater good. Koichi Haimawari grew up aspiring to be a hero, but with a mediocre quirk like sliding, it ties him to the ground. He soon came to the conclusion that he could only ever admire them from below. Despite this, Koichi finds contentment in using his quirk to carry out day-to-day good deeds, such as returning lost items and helping the elderly cross the street. However, Koichi's tame life takes a swing into the turbulent when he is rescued from a back alley brawl by vigilante or illegal hero Knuckle Duster.
Knuckle dust.
Knuckle Duster. Seeing hero potential in Koichi, Knuckle Duster enlists his help in tracking down the source of a dangerous drug known as Trigger that boosts the user's quirk at the expense of their rationality. Set in its time before the events of the original story, Vigilante Boku no Hero Academia Illegals follows Koichi as he chooses to don the reputation of a villain and become a vigilante, operating in the shadow of the law to prevent crimes from taking to the surface.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where to start with this.
I do.
Go ahead.
The opening is done by Kochino Kento, who does the famous Hai Yorokonde. Anata no tame. It's like a super famous song. It was really popular last year.
What shows was that
It's just a song.
Oh, it's just a song.
It was like a super popular J-pop song.
I see. Okay.
But I was shocked because I've never known him to do anime songs.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean it's a big show, so they probably paying the big bucks for that one. I thought it was kind of a mid OP though.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as
I thought it was kind of. It was all right. They did all the Marvel shenanigan.
They did
comic book.
That
bits.
was the thing which I actually found it like the superimposed VFX effects and the animated onomatopoeia. It's interesting. It's an interesting
it was really
touch.
cool.
It's really
I
cool.
thought that was
really-
cheesy.
No, I thought
cheesy
it was
as
really
hell.
cool.
It's slightly cheesy, but it's cool.
I mean, from an artist perspective,
Yeah.
trying to make a animation look like a comic book is really interesting.
Yeah.
They
Actually,
also,
okay,
they
I
did
am
a
full
lot.
of shit because I love it when JoJo does that.
They did a lot.
So.
Like they added action lines when they were zooming in on characters. They always emboldened the outlines of
Panels.
foreground things.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess. Production
It
side
was
was interesting.
very comic book style, like American comic book style, not manga.
And you're talking about the general part of the show.
the whole show
The whole
was
show
like
being
that. Yeah.
I guess maybe I didn't pick up on that as much. I mean, I guess I missed a lot of that. I don't know. I mean,
They were very it was
sparing.
Like there would be a sound effect in the background, like pow, and then
I remember that.
phases out.
I would
really
see that.
quickly.
I think I didn't notice the paneling kind of manga effect.
They didn't panel
comic
it.
book effect, I guess.
They didn't panel it, but it was like
I
the
think I resampled
outlines
that.
of characters or like foreground items were
Okay.
very dark,
I see.
like a comic book.
I think they did the shadow with the what is that what is that called? I don't know enough about manga or comic terms where they make the shadows kind of like the peppered little dots. What is that? I feel like they'd use that in some cases. It was a good looking show.
but I know
it
what you're
was a good looking show. I mean, I thought the little POW things were a little cheesy. That was obviously a style they were going for, and I think they definitely delivered on that. I think it was just more of a personal thing, so it's stupid.
I love that kind of thing. They do it.
My own thing is super, so
I mean, like the best.
that's cool.
The best instance of it is Into the Spider-Verse when they do stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's kind of like reminiscent of that to me.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Going over from a little bit from the art style, compared to My Hero, like the main series, it starts off on a much darker note. I feel like it starts off darker. Because so My Hero starts off very like it's you've got Izuku. He's very he's dealing with Katsuki's bullying and everything else, but it's still it's much more from a child's perspective. Whereas this is young adult, and you're fully it's full on the adult side of quirk society. You know, there's no cushioning. There's no this is just school stuff. It is full on adult quirk society.
If you run into the wrong dude, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, and our protagonist is a really young person, so it definitely it still appeals to younger viewers, like teenagers or whatever, because
he's a young adult.
Yeah, he's a young adult.
Yeah.
But it also appeals to older people who are just maybe I don't want to watch high school stuff, but I'll watch what this could be in adult society.
It's a good underdog story. Being this guy. I mean, I guess it's a good underdog story in the sense that I believe the people that are going to be a part of this group are they're not going to have very good power. I mean, Knuckle Duster, his ability is that he can just tense his muscles to reduce brain damage.
Is that it?
And he can reduce spinal and brain damage. So like he can just he reduces the likelihood, as in like he still could easily take spine and brain damage, but I guess that makes it so he's okay at like jumping off buildings and shit, or taking a punch.
Basically,
but he's like punching just as a dude with literal
so he's
literal
got like
knuckle
slightly
dusters on.
like enhanced physical abilities, basically.
Yeah, I also like that he's kind of like just like fucking like going and like beating the shit out.
Yeah.
You're on drugs, are you?
He's very confrontational.
And he's just immediately going into beating the shit out of people. I like that. I find that very strange.
Yeah.
And very like quirky in a way.
I honestly do feel like this show is kind of like it's not a copy of the original, but it is very similar to it. Like
kind
the
of a copy
protag
of
is
the
a lot
original.
like Izuku with the whole like underdog.
Dresses up as All Might.
Yeah, and then he's got the All Might
this
mentor
guy,
figure
slide
as well. Like
he is gonna find out he's got some like crazy way to use that power. It's like
probably,
fucking crazy, like nuts. I think if they would stick to him being like he is, it's still a pretty low powered ability, and he's still able to like make it work. That would actually fulfill on the thing I wanted from My Hero the whole time when I first came across it, which is that Deku would not have a quirk, and he has to make it work somehow. Instead, they're like, oh, well, actually, he has the like most OP
I feel
quirk.
like for the story of My Hero, it wouldn't work because he's going to a specific like superhero like quirk high school kind of thing. So, well, is it junior high school or is it high school?
Can you imagine how cool it would be though if they were? Could you imagine how cool it would be if it was like I don't have a quirk, but I'm gonna make them think I have a quirk. Like I'm so smart.
Isn't that the premise of Mashuru?
Oh,
is it? I've never watched it.
But that's like a goofy show.
I've heard that.
That's like a goofy show. Like nothing matters in that show. Nothing matters in that show at all. Like it's just one big joke. Yeah, I think this has, I guess, more potential. Now, at the same time, I was still not that engaged, if I'm being honest. I thought of course, they make like these villains that are like so over the top bad and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I gotta save it. And of course, they use so and so. I forget her name. Pop Step.
Oh yeah,
that was her name, right?
Oh yeah, she has to be the damsel in distress.
They use her as a damsel in distress, and we don't even know what she like. I guess she just
floats.
can just float a little bit.
She can jump really well.
She jumps, which is basically just the same thing as
the slide dude.
No, as Ochako.
Yeah,
Ochako.
it's very.
She's literally like the same character again.
Wasn't Ochako the anti-gravity girl?
Yeah,
she floats.
She floats.
Doesn't she do more other stuff with gravity? Is that all she does?
I think she can change other people's gravity.
Yeah, she can make things. If she touches something with all 5 fingers, she can make it float.
I see.
And not float.
I see.
She can reverse the gravity on it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, yeah, then, just like practically.
It's very Ochako.
But then, they make her a whole damsel in distress, and that's kind of uncomfortable.
That is, yeah.
But very typical. Very
typical.
I didn't expect anything
very
else.
Typical, yeah.
From
this type of, from this dude. This dude. But yeah, that's kind of it. Oh, and they 100% stole the idea of the drug from Shimmer in Arcane. It's like literally purple. It's literally purple, and it makes their powers stronger, and they go crazy, and they become irrational, and
I feel like
it spawns all over the place.
I feel like it is
That's a common trope.
The fact that they made it, I don't know, the fact that they made it purple, and it also makes them like crazy monsters that are not like addicted to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just the timing made me feel like
the time. It could be a lot of the timing on it. I feel like it's a fairly typical like, you get superpowers, but the drawback is you have no rationality anymore. Like that. I feel like that's a fairly
even the way that they take it and they become like buff. Feels the same. Anyway, whatever. I mean, I'm not gonna go on and be like, oh, it's totally stolen, dude. No.
Well,
I just feel like
the story, like, interesting. It kind of is an interesting point, I guess. The show does kind of feature a few little cameos from the original cast. Like you see Aizawa.
Yeah, apparently there's gonna be more.
Yeah.
Which is, I
Later
suppose it's a
on.
kind of draw point, I guess.
Which I think is going to be funny because the second episode, is going to be he's going to like use his eyes to make his power stop, and then Knuckle Duster is going to slam him in the fucking face, which I think would be really funny. Anyway, though, besides
But
Knuckle
this is-
Duster,
but this is
I feel like I
actually-
wasn't
yeah.
actually a fan of like the characters.
No.
I
None of the
wasn't-
characters
I
are
wasn't a
interesting.
particular
Knuckle
fan of
Duster
it,
is what I
no.
say that.
I wasn't like particularly taken with any of them, to be
I just
honest.
like Knuckle Duster. He's just crazy.
Yeah,
He's just
exactly.
fucking crazy.
Although,
insane.
interestingly enough, this is actually set before MHA.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
right.
in time wise, it's set chronologically.
Yeah.
It's set before MHA. So we'll probably we could actually end up seeing a bit of backstory from our main cast from
Okay.
MHA.
Well, that's if we see it, and that's I guess a
That's
good
if we see
maybe
it.
segue into
Yeah.
scores. What do we think about the show?
It's a really well done show. I gave it a 6 out of 10. But the whole time I was just like, I want to watch Samurai Flamenco. It's a much better version of this.
Oh, like superhero thing? I haven't seen
A
it myself.
vigilante.
Oh, I see.
I'm kind of like it's a 6, but I'm nowhere near as impressed with it as I was MHA. Like, granted, it's unfair to compare it because it's two different stories basically, but
I mean,
in the same universe. But I'm just like it didn't seem as well done. It didn't draw me in as much. So
Yeah, I'd give it probably a 6 too. I think for me, it's like, and maybe it takes it back a little bit down, is the fact that like I don't know. There's definitely this. My Hero always tends to somehow avoid making any better points about society and like the problems that would arise from a society like this, that it just kind of wants to boil it down to, well, bad guys are just going to be bad.
Yep.
And they'll just abuse drugs like the druggies they are, and that's why we got to put them in the dirt.
Yep.
Like there's no real message to even get behind on any of this. It's
Yeah.
like, I guess, rise up to the challenge to beat the shit out of people that may like be, I don't know, disenfranchised or something. I don't know.
It's like who would
that's-
be
it's-
having to use these drugs?
Yeah, I mean, like it's this thing where it's like anytime it gets close to questioning the fact that it's like the heroes are like structure is problematic, it never wants to actually like create any meaningful commentary or whatnot. To me, that's sort of par for the course of My Hero, and I guess for that, I'd give it like a 5 or a 6.
yeah, it does. So it doesn't really create any meaningful
like 6.
commentary
Give it
on the
6.
society as
Production was
such.
good.
Like My Hero doesn't really. But on the other hand, it's an interesting look at the adult side of it.
Yeah, maybe a different perspective.
It's an interesting
Questioning of whether the nuance would
different
actually find its
yeah.
way in there. I would hope it would, but as for recommendations,
maybe.
if you like
guess-
My Hero, you probably like this.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
If you like My Hero.
I'm probably not going to continue it.
No.
I probably won't either. To be
I
honest.
will watch the clip of Knuckle Duster beating the shit out of that other guy.
Eraser.
Aizawa.
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead.
Yeah.
What is that his name?
Aizawa, yeah. That's
right,
his last
Eraserhead.
name.
Hero Ned.
I'm thinking of
Eraserhead.
Measurehead from Disco.
Measurehead.
No,
Museum,
Eraserhead is
like the
Eraserhead's
hyper
his
racist.
hero name.
All right, well, I guess with that,
Yeah.
let's get on to the next one.
Shall we?
We're making good progress here. Look at that, 13 left. We so close.
Which one?
Oh wow, that was right.
Oh,
in the middle.
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Everyday
let's-
host.
Hell
This was a short.
yes.
This was a short show,
was
so
the
let's make it
short.
short.
Yeah.
No.
Let's make it
Let's
short.
make it short by admitting. Actually, no, we've got to go through the blurb first.
Now we said we weren't going to do shorts, but here we are doing a short.
We didn't say we wouldn't. We just said there was like one or two.
This was like the one that
kids'
wasn't
shorts.
like a children's show.
This is definitely not a children's show.
Actually,
is
Makina's
absolutely
son
not
is not is a love bot was also kind of a short. It was like a long short.
Well, it was like it was like 10
Was
minutes.
it?
It was half an episode. All right, so Everyday Host Club, done by Studios Fanworks. They did Red Skull, Aggressive Red Skull.
Oh.
So that's kind of their main show that they're known for. And the director is Dareko.
Yeah.
Dareko. Okay. Who did Agretsuko. The writer is Gotolnimo, and they have no other credits.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the
Blurb.
blurb?
Okay. So the story follows Hajime Sekiguchi, a former life insurance salesman who, in a moment of desperation, makes the unexpected leap into the world of hosts. At Club 1, Hajime finds himself surrounded by a cast of eccentric personalities, a younger brother-type host with 20 years of experience. I don't understand who can be a younger brother type with 20 years, but okay. a former idol specializing in romantic sales tactics and a hyper-aggressive host obsessed with mobile games. Despite thinking, this isn't a job for anyone with a sane mind, Hajime uses his polished insurance sales skills to attract clients and carve out a surprising niche for himself.
Okay. I think we've already spent the amount of time that it took to watch the show.
I have to admit, I actually watched the first 5 episodes of this.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Because I watched the first, because it's a short, like it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode and I was just like, what the hell is this? So I actually had to watch more of it because I was
think
just
it was
like,
funny
what
that
is
I only
this?
watched one episode of this. Yeah, nothing really happens. We just he gets introduced, and then they show us two hosts plying their trade in a very strange way.
Oh yeah, it's strange.
And then I went down a rabbit hole of what hosts clubs are like.
Yeah, one of the reasons I watched the first 5 is because to actually get more of a feel of what the hell this show is about. Because the first episode doesn't really tell you anything.
It's like a comedy around host clubs.
Yeah, it's a very,
it's just
very
a
short
host
comedy.
club.
But yeah, I don't really have a lot nice to say about this, to be honest.
I mean, I don't either.
It's extremely quirky to the point where I'm just like, there is a very specific niche of people who'd watch this.
Yeah.
It's if you like comedies, which are a little bit on the overly garish comedy side, I guess, about host clubs, then sure.
I guess
Does it get racy?
It's just cringy.
Cringy.
Really.
Oh. I guess just the concept felt kind of, it's like, I don't know. It's this thing where I feel like host clubs, I went down a huge ass rabbit hole finding out more about host clubs, which I'm sure you remember from a random text I sent everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I think the thing that just made me kind of feel gross was the fact that like the customer is like made to look like this ugly girl or something.
That was really weird.
And it was just like, like,
did they continue that?
Yeah, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
Granted, the men didn't look that pretty either.
I think it's just one of these things where I think I've learned too much about how shitty the host industry is that it's hard for me to look at this and be like, that was really funny, like how that happens in real life.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I gave it like a 0. I'll just tell you right away.
I'm like, it's like a 0.5 maybe. Kind of thing.
There's nothing really of substance. It's a short.
Yeah, I had a hard time even like rating it.
Yeah,
because
I was like, what is there to rate?
The content.
Yeah.
I was left with the image of the younger brother character rubbing his head on the lap, saying,
seriously. Yeah.
I'm just like, it's just, that's so cringy.
Yeah. So
I almost hate it more than Intergalactic.
No.
Or Galactic,
Interesting.
whatever.
No.
Interesting.
Absolutely
No,
not.
I think it's more cringy.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. You can have.
It's more overtly cringy, but just
Yeah.
like 0. Yeah,
I give it 0.
Interestingly enough,
Did I give Intergalactic a 0?
No.
Okay, it's a 0.
Interestingly enough, even though I didn't look at the voice cast, I think I recognized a couple of the voice actors in this. I can't remember the names for the life of me, but I think I recognized one of them, who is the younger brother type, I think.
Oh.
Shimonohiro.
Yes, him.
What does he do?
He does a lot of younger brother type characters, I think. Or like kind of like shonen kind of characters, I think, because he's got a higher voice. Oh no, he's Lightning Guy in Demon Slayer.
Oh, Zenitsu?
Yeah, he's Zenitsu.
Oh, I hate that guy. That guy sucks.
Yeah, he's Zenitsu in Demon Slayer.
All right. Well, let's go to the next one then. We recommend it. Oh,
no.
sorry. Score? We gave scores, right?
I had trouble coming up with one. I guess I would give it like a 3.
A 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like 0.5.
Yeah, I don't know. Mixelated.
It didn't waste my time.
Industry, so that's why it says 0. I guess it didn't waste your time. It's 3 minutes.
Yeah, but you're the one who went down the rabbit hole. That's your own fault.
Well. I'm a different person, having known some of those things. So
yeah, we're not gonna recommend this, are we?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't. All right, next wheel. Let's go. We only got 12 more to go.
Yay!
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this one.
Oh my god. All right, put them on
Well,
Takamina-san.
we
I was
already
a
know-
bit disappointed to find out this was a full-length episode.
Yeah, same.
I was
All
like,
I'm gonna say is,
shit, at least Machina could have spared
we already
me
know that
10 minutes.
I did not watch this, so I think I might read the blurb. And
Yeah,
then
you read
guys
the
can
blurb.
talk about
Put
it.
it.
Okay.
The blurb. We spoiled it. We read the blurb beforehand, and I would have been.
true, on
I
call.
would have had an out of body
It's freaking
experience
long.
seeing that in real time.
It is, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so put it on Takamine-san.
Yep. So, for reference,
So,
yeah,
wait.
I didn't watch the last 18. Is it 18 plus one, or whatever it is?
Yeah, this
yeah, I
and
didn't watch the
This is
last
the only
one,
other
and
one.
this
Yeah.
is the other one which I didn't watch. So
which
you know,
number
I'm
was
just gonna.
what
In
number was
order
this?
to have a voice in
23.
this, I'm gonna read the blurb.
Okay.
Oh, let's
Right.
do production.
Please
Yeah.
put them on Takamine-san, or Haite Kudasai Takamine-san. All right, studio is Linden Films Tokyo, or sorry, Linden Films, and they're known for Tokyo Revengers, Goblin Slayer, and Call of the
Oh my
Night.
god, of course.
Call of the Night, which
Yeah,
I like that show.
I like that show.
But yeah, Tokyo Revengers and Goblin Slayer are kind of
Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer's rough, but Tokyo Revengers, I feel like production wasn't terrible though in that. Okay, anyway.
I never watched.
Actually, it did have some
Tokyo
rough
Revengers.
points. Anyway,
I've been recommended the show, but I still haven't watched it yet.
it's complicated, is what I'd say. But anyway, let's see. So director is Makino Tomoe, but there's lots of directors for this show, of which I think there were about 7. All right, the writer is Hiragi Yuichi. Notable work. I say, what the fuck is this thing called Zombitch?
Zombitch?
He wrote something called Zombitch, and I just had to mention that. I have never seen Zombitch.
What? That sounds like
Probably some zombie.
I feel like that sounds
Probably.
suspiciously incel.
Yeah,
anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would very not be surprised. Anyway, so let's get into this. Someone can read off the blurb.
Okay, yeah, so the blurb. Takamine is great at everything she does, and her magnetic personality makes her the envy of everyone. She gets good grades, excels at sports, and even manages to become the student council president during her first year of high school. I feel like there has to be something wrong with that. Anyway, but Takamine has a secret. She possesses an ability called Eternal Virgin Road, allowing her to redo past actions and achieve a different result. While this might seem like a decent skill to have, Takamine must pay a price to activate it. She has to strip off a piece of her lingerie. After getting an imperfect score on the test, Takamine begins to remove her underwear during class and is spotted by her average and weak-willed classmate, Koshi Shirota, who is bewildered by the sight. However, the very next instant, things reset and Takamine's test is now perfect. When Shirota decides to confront Takamine about her previous test score, she reveals her ability to him and blackmails him into becoming her closet, making him carry around extra lingerie and put them on her. Her goal is to be able to use the Eternal Virgin Road as much as possible in order to stay at the top of the school hierarchy. Left with little choice in the matter, Shirota accepts, starting an oddly intimate type of relationship with the most popular girl at school.
I was really disappointed that there was no Japanese for Eternal Virgin Road. It was just Itanaru Bajin Road. I was really curious.
That's actually kind of disappointing.
I was really
Yeah.
curious.
Well, they probably
what
wanted to make
thought
it
that
sound
meant.
cool by putting it in katakana or something. I gotta admit, that power name goes fucking hard. That power name goes fucking hard. Eternal Virgin Road. Like murder. Just incinerated. Would have been so good. I mean, where to begin? It's like you're kind of already hearing it. What the show's about?
All of it.
That was the whole episode, folks. That's what happened. Exactly, word for word. There's definitely a little bit of nuance in what exactly happened. But yeah, the girl can time travel by taking off her clothes.
Only
Lingerie.
Her underwear. Taking off her underwear specifically triggers this time travel, which doesn't just time travel. It goes in her favor.
Yeah, it
Every
changes the
time.
past.
It changes the past to literally being what is more favorable to her. The
Yeah.
system is so baffling to me.
Right.
It's just and she even says, I guess I'm a god, right?
Yeah.
I can just do this shit and everything works out perfect for me. I'm literally perfect because of this. And it's It's like, okay, like, I mean, shit, I guess you're God.
Sure.
You just got to do this very strange ritual or whatever.
I'm just like, how did you even figure that out?
Oh, so it didn't mention in the blurb. So she has this power and everyone forgets. No one's able to realize that she's like going back in time.
Right.
There's a specific thing that you can do in order to remember eternally. You can remember now whenever she does the whole scenario is if you see her boobs.
Yeah.
Like, that's
What?
it. If you see her boobs, you can remember all the pasts that she goes back from, which is then what our protagonist does. He sees her boobs.
He peeked.
He did fucking peek too. He fucking peeked. And yeah, so that's what he did. And
now he's paying for it.
And now he's paying for it by the thing that she essentially shows him, which is that she can get him arrested.
Yeah.
For like at any time she wants
assaulting
for
her.
assaulting her or whatever. And it's and then I guess he has to do that. I don't know, man. Like, that was it, right?
I was pissed
Characters
off.
look weird.
They're ugly.
They all look really weird.
The boy in
egg
particular is ugly as hell.
She's ugly too, though. It's like
She
her head's
is.
like a big old egg.
But he's particularly ugly.
I don't like.
I was pissed off at how long the freaking Eternal Virgin Road like cutscene took.
Oh yeah, it took like
And then they
like 5 minutes.
And then they reused it again without shortening it once. And then they reused it again a few times by shortening it. But it was like,
looks easy to draw.
I guess.
It's just, I guess what it's going for is like, I don't know, dudes being, I guess, dommed by this like woman.
Yeah.
If that, it's like, it's just like a dude who just like the idea of putting clothes on a woman is like the hottest thing in the world. I guess.
Putting
I don't
her
know.
underwear on.
Oh, because then they forgot to mention that when she goes back in time, I guess the sacrifice that must be made for that is her underwear.
Oh right, they disappear.
So she's naked, or well, not she's naked.
She's going commando.
She's going commando. Man, I need some
feel like that would
dude
be
to somehow
so
have my
expensive.
Is
shit.
that right?
Yeah, that actually sounds awful.
And she always has like cute lingerie because of course she can't be caught slacking. So it's like, how much money are you
Find a
spending?
sacrifice for the time travel.
God.
Unless, actually, that might be the worst thing is if her closet, she's like, you gotta buy me shit for that.
Damn.
Oh, damn. She's like, I'm paying like $1,000 a month. Yeah, this show sucked.
Yeah, it sucked.
Like, it sucked. I gave Maki-san a way better score than this.
Yeah, Maki-san was way more entertaining.
That was way better.
It's cute and silly.
Did I even rate this?
I gave it a 0.
I gave it 2 out of 10. I don't know. 2 out of 10.
I would just go. I didn't watch this, but I'd give it between you and just say 1.
I feel like if I was offended by it, I guess I give it. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a 1 too. I'm gonna stick by 2.
You don't have to be offended by something to give it a 0. It can just be that boring. I think I
would need to. I feel
it
like
can just be that boring and ugly and grating to your ears in every aspect.
All right. Will you recommend it? No.
No.
All right. Let's go. Next one.
Next
Let's
one.
go. We only got 11 to go. Oh, yeah! Shit!
So Mobile Suit Gundam. What the hell do you?
GQ.
Quacks.
Okay, so Mobile Suit Gundam or Quacks.
It sounds a lot like Quacks, but it's Quacks.
Quacks. Yo, that Quacks. Studio Sunrise, of course, Gundam. Director is Tsurumaki Kazuya, and they worked on Gainax, or on Studio Gainax, which did Evangelion and a bunch of other classic shows. He also kind of went over to Trigger and worked on Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill.
True.
So he has done a lot of stuff. And the writer is Yatate Hajime, and he wrote for Cowboy Bebop, Tiger and Bunny, Escaflowne, Escried, The Big O, Love Live. Wait, what?
Oh shit!
So he did a lot of shit.
Wow.
So he's written for a lot of things. And I believe the character designer is the same character designer as character designer as Katanagatari.
Yes.
Okay.
Creator. So
And the
which I
more
love the
recent
designs.
Pokemon game designs too.
Oh really? Oh huh. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So yeah, I guess we'll get the production or not production. Blurb.
Okay. Amate Yuzuriha is a high school student living peacefully in a space colony floating in outer space. When she meets a war refugee named Nyan, Amate is drawn into the illegal mobile suit dueling sport known as clan battle. Under the entry name Matsu, she throws herself into a fierce battle day after day, piloting the G-Quacks. Then, an unidentified Gundam mobile suit, pursued by both the Space Force and the police, appears before her, along with its pilot, a boy named Shuji. Oh, now their world is about to enter a new era.
Okay, we got through like half of this in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Oh, that's it. That was
Not even, actually.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah, I love the show. Well,
It's so
I say
It was good.
It was so good. God, the colors, character designs, everything just
beautiful.
looks so incredible. It's actually funny. The only thing I didn't like was I just didn't like the design of some of the Gundams. I thought they looked very industrial, which is cool. I think they're going for a different style. As someone who like loves mecha and Gundam, definitely some of the ugliest designs I feel like I've seen.
see.
But I mean, I liked it. Like it was fine. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Loved how
yeah.
it immediately just gets you right into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Love that. So good. So refreshing. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot to say. You guys go ahead.
one criticism about the show.
Sure.
And it's how Quacks is pronounced.
Is it pronounced Quacks? I don't
It
even
is,
know.
I heard it.
In the
I heard them
show,
say
they
Quacks.
say the Quacks drive or
Quacks.
something. That's right.
It's like quack.
I literally did not
quacks.
connect
It's like
that. I'm
it's
stupid.
kind of weird UA sound.
Quacks.
Quacks,
Quacks.
quacks, quacks.
Why the fuck?
And it's literally just because to English speakers it sounds a lot like quacks.
Quacks. Quack.
Which means,
Activate the quack
which I
drive.
full on
Quack.
laughed. I full on laughed the first time I heard someone pronounce it. Because I was just like, what?
Just like turning on the engine. Quack. I'm just imagining that when you turn on the gun.
Yeah. It was
Would
just
you like to
that was just funny.
activate the quack drive? All right. Anyway,
It was so beautiful.
It
so
was.
beautiful. Love. I think some of the best character animating out of the
Oh my
entire
God, yeah.
season.
So
The
good.
fluidity was like
I know.
unreal. The characters
the
so
chase scenes,
expressive.
too.
Yeah.
The chase scenes. Like this throws even like Lazarus out of the
I know.
out of the
For
water.
sure.
Like a million times out of the water.
And it's like the
God, so good.
simplified art style really makes the fluid animation so much more like satisfying to watch.
Yes. And it's funny because so again, as someone who watches a lot of Gundam, I've never seen the colonies look that good. I've never seen
yeah.
colonies in the show look that good, and it was like,
Yeah.
damn, this is like Tokyo.
The setting was so
in like this
awesome.
like in this sort of like settlers colony or not settlers colony in like the space colony. I just thought it was so cool seeing like the sort of run down area still looked really like distinct and interesting. The shrine too that there was like on top
my
of the
God,
thing
that
that
was
was
sick.
so
That
good.
was so
That was
good.
sick.
That was so. I
Yeah.
love that little scene
Yeah.
too. That was such a cool little like scene of like so
Yeah.
to try to like or the girl trying to like trick them,
Yeah.
or trick the other person stuff.
Yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like, and I feel like, I really like the shrine, and also like the fact it was a chase scene, and the one of them has, it's like kind of like you're trying to chase after something which is just 2 steps ahead,
yeah.
a little bit, until she catches her at the shrine.
Yeah, and I love
But-
that it's kind of like you almost kind of sets it up that like and sorry, who's the main girl's name again? I need to remember.
Amate.
Amate. I like that Amate at first it kind of makes it feel like she's just like completely random bystander that would have like no way of like knowing what to do.
Yeah, but
like at
then
first she's
she's
like, this
like-
is illegal. She's like looking up what the fuck
Yeah.
she just like had put into her bag. She's like, this is illegal. And then you see her bag is snatched back, and you're like, oh man. So I guess like I don't know what's gonna happen to her. And then she like freaking follows the girl
Yeah.
back, and then she like convinces her to bring her to this shady spot, and it's like,
Yeah.
yo, I want a part of this too.
Yeah.
I want a
That was,
part
like,
of like.
insane.
Well, I mean, like
which-
she had some like parkour skills going
Yeah,
on.
she definitely
she-
is.
So it's like
she's letting on a lot.
there's some kind of like
less.
backstory here.
There's definitely a lot more that would go on, which I find very fascinating that she would just be going about her normal life, and
Yeah.
then she just finds herself doing this. And I do like the fact that there's like this there's sort of this like tension of like fuck the cops and the system.
Yes,
Like
that
I
was
love
sick.
that, like that she's also like very much like, yeah, this is like fucked up. I mean, yeah, the cops like blowing up, be like, we're just gonna blow up this whole town because we're just gonna look for the culprits or whatever.
Systemic racism.
It's
at its finest.
or just it's like really really good.
So they really in the
Dive
first
into that
episode
impression.
really dived into like this world building and the existence of like racism and anti-immigration.
Yeah.
With like,
Are you talking about new types?
yeah, I don't remember.
So new types, and they did the little like there's a thing that happens in the background. It's like a weird like lightning bolt with this like specific sound effect. So new types. Let's kind of give some backstory. So for one, this is set in the original. It's called the Universal Century timeline, which is the main original conflict between the Empire of Xenon and the Federation of the planet. Federation of the planet is they're based on Earth, and Xenon is like practically a dictatorship that's in space, that is like for the colonies and whatnot. So in the colonies, there becomes this thing where people that are in space for so long eventually develop an evolutionary advantage, which is like, if you ever seen Star Wars, it's like the Force, like the sense. So it's like they get this like extra heightened sense of awareness that sometimes comes up where they even are like, they can feel certain waveforms or something that give them like insight to be like, oh shit, someone's going to come behind me. Or it might allow them to pilot Gundams better. Or sometimes there's even things where they can literally sense other new types. It's this interesting thing where there's this racism that's going on between people that are new types and not new types, because it's kind of like you're either from Earth or you're from like the space colonies. In the original timeline, the Federation wins over the Xenon Empire, but in this one, the Xenon Empire had won.
I see, yeah.
So
It's
where
an
they're kind of
alternate
they're
universe.
working under like it seems like they're working under a strange joint control of the system where you have Federation that's still working and it's still like technically a separate entity, but Xenon is really the one that's in control. So you get this sort of like oppressive sort of, which I always find funny because it's like Xenon is like, well, because it's like a dictatorship, it does oppress the people even in the colonies and stuff. So, but some of the colonies are more Federation than others. So it's complicated. It's complicated. Gundam loves these sort of like political type of. A lot of shows are like a good amount of nuance, I would say. But anyway,
I feel like that's actually
Yes, that's why.
that kind of thing with it actually is a slight criticism for me because I'm coming into this going, I've watched The Witch from Mercury and that's it. For Gundam,
which is
which means
which means I
know absolutely like minimal, if close to nothing about the previous story points and the main
almost
timelines and everything else.
All the Gundam series are separate universes from each other.
Yeah,
not always, but yeah.
But still, the thing is, like
recently they've had a lot more of
sure,
those,
like you can tell that there's like systemic racism and everything else, but you don't know like why it's happening. It's just like random kind of this is just happening.
Yeah, and
But
you're right.
and-
I think that could be a lot.
It also
to take in,
it also
certainly.
references different characters, and as well as like the red and the white Gundams, which are just like wow.
Were those like supposed to be like previous?
Oh
important
I forgot that would be something
figures?
you'd have to know. So
Yeah, so
the red Gundam,
while-
the red comet is Char Aznable's mech. It's his mech, and he was like the craziest, like most powerful pilot on the Xenon side. And then the Mobile Suit Gundam, the original like Mobile Suit Gundam, was on the Federation side, and that was sort of the crazy.
So that's the white one.
That was the white one.
Yeah.
Which
basically the white-
is it the same one as the question mark? Because the red Gundam the red mech that they had, that also looked different. I don't know if it was. They said it was like they were copying Char.
Yeah,
They think
no,
it was like a
it was
copycat or something.
speculation about it. But still, the thing is, while so the story point references and the different like the red and the white Gundams, as well as like different characters they were referring to, like from either previous like different universes or different Gundam series or whatever, they made it a little harder to watch. But because they were kind of side plot, it still makes it accessible to like people who haven't watched Gundam before.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the story of it being like an oppressed people trying to kind of scrape their way out from underneath the boot heel of of a larger force, I think is at least like It's very readable initially
for sure.
as a concept. I think like all the extra backstory is sort of for us Gundam head people, but like I think it's something that like it's more of like a hint if you wanted to dive into that to know more. Maybe
It's kind of like a slightly
they'll give us more pieces.
It's got like a slightly obvious main point Easter egg kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it's not an Easter egg because it's part of the main Gundam, isn't it? Yeah. So it's kind of like an Easter egg, but it's like right in your face.
Yeah.
Where, and I think that would be a criticism I have about it, is like, if you come into this knowing absolutely nothing, it's just like, why are you so focused on this? Like, you're explaining nothing. You're telling me character names and all this stuff, and I'm just like, I have no idea what you're on about.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, it is a really good show.
Yeah.
That didn't really bother me, honestly. I honestly just appreciated being thrown into the world building.
Yeah, I like that when that does happen.
I think they built it really well. It didn't really need explaining, and it's like a lot of times they're like in any anime there are like references to other people that you haven't met yet. It's like kind of normal.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think anything about it. But then I guess with the understanding that it was based off of a different Gundam series, it's kind of like, oh well, I am missing something.
Yeah.
A little bit. As a viewer watching it, obviously I knew a little more, but like I think the way they give you information as well as stuff that would just be like stuff that you just wouldn't know, I do think it at least makes the world feel so much more like alive. Like it's like it has a history that has existed before.
That is very true.
You started watching it, seeing it to begin with, and it's not super consequential. I would say it's not like you're missing a major piece.
Right.
It's just like people are kind of mentioning past events, which you can kind of imagine in your head as being a thing. Like, oh, they're trying to like this guy, maybe he's trying to copy this dude or whatever, but. That's sort of inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. What matters is there's like a random like red comet guy on the loose.
Yeah, and like it's a small criticism, but overall it doesn't impact it too much.
And the fight's really good. The mechs looked good. Yep. Like they flew really well. I don't know. They flew well.
They flew well.
They were piloted really well by that guy. No, they were good. I liked it. So, anything
also,
else?
I loved both the opening and the ending. The opening by Yonezu Kenshi, which was oh my god,
so good.
I was shocked again. He hardly ever does anime stuff, and then the ending by Suisei Hoshimachi, the VTuber. She has such a gorgeous voice, and the ending like animation was so beautiful. I loved that.
It was.
That's gonna be like a new like art copy pasta, like Sugar Song and Bitter Step was from Kikkai Sensen.
Is it like actually catching on like that, or you just think
I think it's going to be.
You think it might be?
I have seen actually a few redraws of it already.
Oh really?
Okay.
Wow, damn. Well, that's really sweet. Yeah, the opening and ED are awesome. Yeah, just an incredible production on this one. Man, as someone who loves Gundam, I mean, good shit.
Yeah.
Like. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't really have anything else for it. What do we?
Oh, I said gay.
Gay.
Maybe.
And I said Yuri is Gundam's new favorite.
True.
Oh, and I thought the Gundams looked like Bionicles.
Bionic.
They look like Bionicles. I said they're especially ugly, especially the compound eye looking thing. Oh, and I said Pizza Hut time. I don't know why.
The ending, probably.
Oh, they got the Pizza Hut. Yes. Yeah. It's Pizza Hut time. Little Code Geass reference. Yeah. Pizza Hut time. Where's that sponsor? Okay. So, rating. What would you guys say? Okay, yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually higher than I put, but I mean...
Really?
I give it a 9.
I would...
Give it a 9. Very good.
I would give it an 8.
10 is like, I guess episode, I transcended.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
It is really good. Maybe I'd give it a 10. I feel like I'd probably give it a 9 still, but 10, I feel like I'd be like...
10, it just
10,
hit
I'm like,
every point for me. It's like...
Yeah, okay.
The art was like...
pretty well.
I'm like ready to worship the art.
Yeah,
the music was like beautiful. I loved the OST, and then the songs were all great. I'm really into the story and the world building, and the fact that they like address so many like real world issues. You know, it just really appealed to the radical in me.
It's the perfect package.
It just hit every point for me.
Yeah, I agree with all those points.
Yeah.
Azumi, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else I can actually extra say on this. I'm just like, it's just impressive.
Yeah. What did you say, 9 out of 10?
8.5.
Yeah, that's fair. So, would you recommend it? Let's
Yes.
say with me. 1, 2.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Got
just
that.
like, that's.
I will 100% be continuing this show.
Oh, yeah.
And
For
probably even potentially buying merch of it. We'll see how that
Anyway.
goes. Anyway, we gotta move on from that. Okay. All right. Next show up.
Yes!
Oh. Oh. All right. Kowloon
Banger.
romance. Kowloon. What was it? Kudon?
It was Kudon.
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 Kowloon is what they're reading it out as, or not reading it out as. I wonder what
Writing
the
it.
dub would say. They probably say Kudon.
Something close.
Why would they spell it that way? It looks like Kowloon. All right, so Kowloon Ordinary Romance. The studio is Arvo Animation. They did Bokuben, or We Can't Study, and Laika Vampire Cosmonaut. Let's see. Director is Iwasaki Yoshiaki, and he did the cursed Okasan Isekai. One of the mother gets isekai'd. If y'all know, you know. And he did Bokuben for lots of storyboard roles. All right, the writer is Maizuki Jun, and he wrote After the Rain, or Koi wa Aneagari. What's the blurb?
In the distant future, individuals who adore the old way of life live in Kudon Walled City, a slum city that serves as a refuge for those who long for the Hong Kong of the past. Realtor Reiko Kujirai, however, craves for the new and exciting places in the area. In contrast, her only co-worker, Hajime Kudo, enjoys the nostalgia the city invokes and is put off by anything modern that seeps past its walls. But despite their differing views and the constant bickering on the most mundane of things, the two often find themselves enjoying each other's company. One day, a prank gone wrong leads Hajime to make an unexpected advance towards Reiko, after which he swiftly apologizes. Baffled by his actions, Reiko starts investigating for possible explanations, only to discover a past that she has no memory of.
Backgrounds are immediately super gorgeous.
Oh my God,
Immediately as I was
I
looking at it, I
love
was like,
that.
this show looks so
Yeah,
good.
this show is beautiful.
Yeah, this show is really, really good. But, and I said the OP fucks. Doesn't just slap. Fucks. It's
Damn.
really good. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting show. Really kind of like a
I
mind
was
fuck.
really drawn in from the
Oh,
start.
yeah, I
was
It was
drawn in
such
straight
an
from the start.
unsettling feeling the whole time.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
There's something
Yeah,
really
there's
off
something really
about
wrong.
all of this.
I mean, even the
Yeah.
whole like generic Terra in the
Yeah.
sky thing
Yeah.
of like it'll upload all of us to the cloud or something.
Oh, yeah, that
And
was
it's like,
freaky.
wait, what the fuck is gonna happen? And it's done by a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They even show the pharmaceutical guy, like from the like the doctor looking dude. And he's like some clown looking
CEO or
motherfucker.
whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so yeah, alien sci-fi shit kind of juxtaposed by this like old Hong Kong.
Right.
Was pretty like weird and
Yeah.
interesting, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I guess she just goes to work. She's a real estate agent.
Yeah.
As well as with Koldun, the other guy.
Hajime.
Hajime Koldun?
Kudo.
Kudon.
Kudo.
Kudo. All right. Kudo. I was like, is that we're just based off the name of this thing is based off his name? All right, okay, I see. It's his generic romance.
It is. It is.
All right, so yeah, so I don't know. They're both real estate agents, and they both go to work, and they have a pretty normal life,
Yeah.
I guess, just working, selling shitty apartments, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Try and make them a little better. I don't
No,
know.
I
What do you
really
guys
like it.
thoughts?
They use deja vu really well in this anime. Like you've got like the opening scenes with 3 slices of watermelon and the same 3 slices of watermelon at a late night cafe. It's played at exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know whether the seeds are in the same spot, like the black watermelon seeds. But
Yeah.
probably.
yeah, but it
suppose.
was like almost, if not identical, extremely close. Yeah, and there's like lots of uses for repetition and deja vu and that things which are just a little bit off.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah. I mean,
which
of
creates
course,
a great sense of unease.
Yeah.
yeah, as
through
you
the whole
mentioned,
thing.
yeah, there's lots of like, it feels just like not exactly right.
Yeah.
It's the same, but it's not right.
Yeah.
kind of thing,
There's
yeah.
also like, she takes the pills and she like she doesn't need glasses anymore or
No,
something.
it's not pills. It's not pills. She uses eye drops.
Oh,
She-
that's
she
right.
starts
Sorry, you're right.
using eye drops.
Medicated eye drops.
Yeah,
and
medicated
they
eye
like
drops.
literally solve
And then
her.
she realizes that when she puts her glasses on, her eyes get worse. So yeah,
Yeah, they're like they're
yeah.
literally healing her eyes
yeah.
or fixing
and
her
then,
eyes.
And
I should
then
say.
Kudo actually has a really, really strange reaction to this. Like, granted,
It's like, I don't trust that shit, yeah.
Well, first, and granted, that's not strange. It'd be like, just imagine you start using eye drops and your eyes actually get better. Like...
Well, her using them,
eyesight.
He's like, oh, you're using that? Like,
Yeah,
he's
no,
like,
he has this really
really?
strange kind of
gross.
like, why are you using that? Like, just wear your glasses. It's almost like he's resistant to her taking off the glasses.
No, it wasn't even about that. It was about the fact that it was that
doesn't
pharmaceutical
trust.
company.
Yeah, he's like, I don't trust that
Because it wasn't established at first that they were going to heal her eyes. She was just using them because
it was just from that
she
company.
needed them.
Yeah, she needed them or something.
For like dry eyes and that sort of thing.
And then she's like, well, my eyes are fixed. I don't need glasses anymore. And he's like, I liked you better with glasses.
That's what makes me sus.
Yeah.
That's out of left field there.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of explained at the end.
They kind of, I mean, so if we're like getting into it, she essentially finds herself, I guess, falling for this guy slowly. Like, he's abrasive at first, but like that kind of is like charming in a way.
And he's like weirdly omnipotent about things in her life.
Yeah, he's like, well, also like it seems like she's like a newbie to like this place
Almost, but then the work she does is like she's been there for ages.
But when he takes her to like, there's like an alley that he takes her to, which is where like very mysterious that they kind of show later on. She goes to this alley where she's like, wow, like he's showing me a part of like Koldun that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
That like I like can see myself maybe falling in love, becoming nostalgic about this place. So like it was kind of implied that she had not really been there before, but of course that alleyway is also where that tea shop is, where they then reveal later that she goes to the tea shop and the guy comes back up and he's like, oh yeah, like
the clerk or the
that's right. She finds the picture of her with Kudol.
And they're like married.
And they're married. They're straight up married. They're like a couple. And she like goes over there and she's like, what? Like, did you like, what's with this? And he's like, yeah, I took this picture.
Like, don't you remember?
Don't you remember or something?
Yeah.
So like, it became this thing where I guess we're thinking either like memory or time.
Yeah, it adds this
time.
It adds
because other people have memories of her experience.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like that alone adds this like
what is real?
It adds this real like depth of horror.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it is
Exactly. Like what is going
horrifying.
on? You've forgotten everything. But but also people are living like you were.
On one hand, it's like you kind of think, okay, has she lost her memories? Or is everyone else pulling something? Like, is someone else doing something bad? Like, it's like, who's at fault here?
I don't, I mean, the fact that the clerk is at least immediately, like, forward about, like, I took that picture of you guys, kind of implies that it's, like, they're not hiding it. It's like, who would be hiding what?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and of course, the big question that is like comes down to like, okay, well, what is Kudol? What is Kudol up to? Like, what is he doing? Like, does he remember this? But he has the photo. Of course, he remembers it.
Yeah, it's either that or I'm suspicious this whole thing might have something to do with Hebinum Pharmaceutical, because you know how they have the whole the soul copy upload thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe someone's tinkering around or something's going wrong with that.
I think I know what's going to be. So the blurb did mention, I think it kind of spoiled it in a sense because we didn't get this before. But the fact that he always wants the world to be, he doesn't like resisting the new and all that stuff. My theory is that she falls in love with him, but she changes. And she maybe becomes more like, hey, maybe you should come out of your shell. Maybe you should be less wanting the old stuff. And, like, there's this part where he doesn't want that. He wants to reset her back to when he first fell in love with her.
Yeah.
So, like, he's able to experience the time that he loved her when he did love her, which is like really fucking sinister, if that's the case.
I think your theory holds a bit of water. Like, I'm just like, I can find myself agreeing with that. But I will hold off on making any judgments until I watch a little bit more of it. Because, I mean, it's just so good.
My theory...
it's very intriguing.
My theory, and I felt this watching the show, but then I felt, like, validated by the description just now, is that she died. And her consciousness is in the thing. And people can visit there. And it's like,
But she's put in like this reconstructed version of Kudon.
Right.
To stop her going kind of insane.
Which doesn't really make sense about like new things appearing and then disappearing really fast.
I'm thinking that could be it's some place he always wanted to take her but never did.
No, because
but
he did take her to the tea shop.
Yeah, but what
And-
about the market?
Well, I think that was a part of it.
I don't know.
I'm sure he
That was
had.
that area. She's like, I couldn't find it back to the tea shop.
I think
like she
she's
eventually did one
been
time.
everywhere there.
Yeah.
and she just doesn't remember it.
Yeah, maybe.
My theory was that she had died,
Oh.
and he's staying there to be with her, and she wants to like experience life more, but he's like, well, no, like you're kind of stuck
But you
here.
can't.
You
Yeah.
can't leave here.
Maybe, yeah.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's a few things I want to mention. One is that there's they talk about the photochemical smog warning.
Well,
Which I don't really think relates to that, but it was definitely like a little bit like a whoa, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Photochemical
I feel
smog,
like that
maybe
could,
just a little.
I feel like
world
that could be a bit more of like just a like
just a little fun little
yeah.
Well, I
hellscape.
don't know. I
I
mean,
think there's something to that. I think the
Yeah.
smog
Could be,
warning
yeah.
will be some part of that.
it'd be a weird thing to just add for flair.
Yeah.
Oh, do they mean photochemical is in like light and eyes?
I don't know.
The eye drops?
Smog.
I don't know.
Like it would be in the air, but it like fucks with your photosensitivity?
No, I think I don't know. I don't know what photochemicals are.
I'm gonna have to look that up. What's photochemicals? Okay. But I also noticed he has very light OCD. He always touches 8s and stuff. Which I think just kind of adds to his more like obsessive.
I don't have a
Potential
theory
thing.
about this, but it's just something I noticed. Kudon is written as 9 dragons.
What's her
Which-
name written with?
Oh, I don't know. Kudon is the name of the town.
Kudon. Oh, sorry. I keep thinking I was saying Kudon. Oh, I see.
And there were just like other references to numbers too that I noticed.
Yeah, there's like
Thought it
these
was
like weird
weird.
things popping up.
Okay. Photochemical smog, often referred to as summer smog, is the chemical reaction of sunlight, nitrogen oxides, and volatile organic compounds in the atmosphere, which leaves airborne particles and ground-level ozone. Photochemical smog depends on primary pollutants as well as the formation of secondary pollutants. So I'd say it's in areas which have like a lot of primary pollution.
I see. So photochemical smog is just like a thing in Hong Kong.
Well,
Is maybe what they're kind of referring to.
China does have a lot of issues. Yeah, it's a brand.
Yeah, I guess to me, I had never heard of photochemical smog. So I'm like, what the
According,
fuck is that?
according to
So, okay, so I just don't know. That's
ScienceDirect, according to ScienceDirect.com, it is a brownish-grey haze caused by the action of solar ultraviolet radiation on the atmosphere, polluted with hydrocarbons and oxides of nitrogen.
All right. Shit's kind of fucked. Don't read that in.
Yeah, traffic in industry. Yeah, difficulty breathing,
sure.
irritation in the respiratory system, and reduced lung function. Ta-da.
Yeah, apparently this is like it can easily occur in Hong Kong.
Easily.
Easily occur.
Easily
I don't know
occur.
what that means really.
So it's actually not anything in particular. It's just an interesting world building thing,
Yeah.
which happens in Hong Kong.
And yeah, lots of fan service in the show.
Oh my
a
God,
ridiculous
yeah.
amount of fan service.
I didn't mind it so much because like it happened in the beginning.
Yeah,
and then,
you know what you're getting into. I
yeah,
guess.
and like she's in her 30s, which I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with fan service of a 30-year-old.
She's really hot. She's
yeah.
really hot. And I
But
found
then-
30 plus. I found 30 plus romance is also refreshing.
Yeah, same.
I love that fact that they're like working adults.
Yeah.
Kind of. I like that. Bit.
Yeah.
But the one scene that I was kind of like, okay, like you can tone it down, was when she was painting and she
Oh my
puts her
God.
hand
Oh, boy.
on the white paint and then pulls it off and looks at it and she's like, and it's like white paint all over her hand and she's
Wait, what?
sweating
That
and
was
her boobs are showing.
I wasn't even thinking that. I mean, whew. Anyway, there's
I
not
was
the
not
white. The
thinking
white
that.
I wasn't thinking of.
It was kinda-
I was thinking of the white paint, but yeah, I don't know.
It was kind of over the top.
There's a lot. There's a lot of fan service in that. But
Actually, one thing I do want to mention about the animation, actually. So the style, like, it's reminiscent of Evangelion, to be honest, for me.
Old anime.
Little, like,
now,
older style.
Do you maybe mean that in like Evangelion does have a lot of those like nice like long summer shots of like the unbearable heat. Like,
no,
of
I
the
don't
set-
mean
of the
summer.
feeling
I
of,
just
like-
mean that kind of style of animation. Like the characters,
The character
the character
design.
design.
Oh, the
yeah,
character
that sort of thing.
designs. Really?
Yeah, the character
Design
design
made me
and
think of, like, older stuff.
possibly the background animation. I'm not too sure on that one, but character design especially. But it's extremely detailed.
Yeah.
Like
very
I've got
detailed.
a little note about the intro sequence where you've got her kind of waking up in the morning
Hmm.
because there's a detail where her eyes, like when she gets up, her eyes are covered with a fringe, right? And then her eyes are shown after she puts her glasses on. Like, you only see her eyes once she puts her glasses on, which is very interesting.
Okay. There's something there.
I just found it just really interesting.
It's a very interesting show.
Yeah.
Thinking back to, like, after watching the show, it brings up all these questions. Like, whoa, wait, what did I just watch? And you want to, like, go back through and see it. Yeah, really good show. Super intriguing. I definitely will be following with it. I don't know. I think is that kind of everything we've had to say.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add.
Yeah. What score do we all give it?
I'm not sure. Like, I really liked it.
Yeah, I was really into it and like super ready to watch more. I give it a 9 out of 10.
I would probably do the same. I'd give it a 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. But I feel like if it does continue being like at least a good. Like, because there's definitely an element where I'm like, if it just doesn't make sense, or there's
then
some
the
hiccups
score could drop,
in a story like this, it could be just not that great. But I'd say it's easily could be a 9 too. Yeah. I said it could
Well,
be
I'm
common
judging
9.
it based on just like the first episode. It was
Yeah,
very engaging. And
I
intriguing.
think so. And I'd recommend it highly.
Yes,
Yeah,
highly
highly
recommend.
recommend.
Thanks for listening. Here's the shameless self-promotion. Prepare yourselves.
If you like what we were talking about, or maybe just had us on for some background noise, consider subscribing, leaving a comment, or dropping a like.
Let us know if there's a show you'd like us to discuss or what you thought of this season's anime.
We hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are. That's all from us for now. Bye.
Bye.